Hello, everyone. We are back. This is movie 2, day 2, and we are finally into The Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. We made it, and we are joined by some incredible guests. I'm going to start with them. Rachel Cushing, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks so much for inviting me. I mean, anything Lord of the Rings, especially Fellowship, I will definitely be involved in. And you guys have been so great as fans of the Schmodown and doing your own thing. And I love watching your videos, so I'm happy to join.
Thank you. And we are also joined by the Schmodown question writer himself, Chris Skalicky. How are you?
Hey guys, doing great. Thanks for having me. I mean, of course, Lord of the Rings is my favorite film franchise. Fellowship's my favorite movie all time, so I'm pumped to sit in and watch it with you guys.
All right, and let's go back to the group of regulars. Chris Doman, how are you?
We have Rachel and Skalicky here. I am kind of intimidated right now, but at the same time, I'm ready to watch an amazing film as part of an amazing trilogy. Yes.
All right, Kees, how are you?
I am so excited. This is one of my favorite movies of all time because Fellowship is just so fucking good, and The Lord of the Rings is just so good. And I can't wait to watch this movie with you guys, and I really hope that some of you heathens, Jacob London, please just enjoy this movie more than you did before because these movies are just so good.
I will explain myself when we watch them. And Evan DeGraff, this is your first one of the watch-alongs. How are you?
I am here. I'm ready to go. I have a plethora of water. Florida is playing right now, and it's scaring me because it's a great game. But what's even better is raising money for charity, watching Lord of the Rings, something I haven't watched since I was 8 because it scared the living crap out of me. So
fair enough. And we are also joined by our third Chris on the panel. Chris Clark, how are you?
I'm doing great, Jacob. This is gonna rock. This is one of those 4-hour movies that feel like 2. It's gonna go by quick. It's gonna go by great. This is a great movie, great start to a franchise. That's a fantastic movie. I cannot wait. We're gonna rock this. Bada bing, bada boom.
We're also joined by the founder of Take 3, Harvey. How are you?
I'm back. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm really excited. I haven't watched The Fellowship in what feels like forever. So yeah, and I fell in love with the extended editions and I haven't gone back to the original since. So yeah, looking forward to it.
All right. So, and we are also joined by Kristen Smith. How are you?
Great. Ready to wash the bad taste of the last Hobbit movie out of my mouth, move on to one of my favorite movies ever made.
All right, guys. Well, just to give you context, we will be watching the extended edition of The Fellowship of the Ring. Now, some of you will be watching a digital version. Some will be watching the Blu-ray version, the DVD version. There's one very big significant difference, and that is the fact that the DVD is on 2 discs. I have the time code for when that happens. We will be stopping the video for about 5 minutes to give everyone the chance to get ready again. And then we'll play. We're not going to cut our video at all. It's just going to run and we'll just talk for 5 minutes while everyone gets ready. But with that said, guys, the whole reason we are here is for charity. Please, if you can and if you are able to and can afford to, please donate what you can to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. We have a CrowdRise page in the description below, but also in the chat. I am adding it probably every 15-20 minutes. I'm adding it. But guys, if you can, please donate. With all that said, let's start this movie. We all hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit play.
The Make-A-Wish Foundation, huh? Jacob?
Oh, shush.
How many times have you said it?
In the morning. It is 8 a.m. in the morning.
You make the same joke that he did. Congratulations.
No Warner Brothers logo.
Well, it wasn't Warner Brothers back then.
I know.
No, it wasn't.
It just has that eerie feel when it does that. It's just
I'll never forget the first time I saw it because I went to the theater on opening day with my whole family. And you have to understand that Lord of the Rings isn't just about my love for it. It's about my entire family's. And like the memory is burned into my brain of how we all were literally holding our breaths during this entire sequence right up until you start to hear Galadriel's voice. And it was like not even a minute into the movie when I was like, I think they got this right. And it turned out that they did. I mean, seriously, it's probably the single most amazing movie going experience I've ever had, to share that with my family and our love of the books and our trepidation about whether the movies were going to be good. And then they turned out to be good.
Actually, yeah, it's kind of interesting because growing up, my dad and I also, we grew up on the animated version of Lord of the Rings, the Ralph Bakshi version. But then
Hey, Rachel, it's you.
Yeah,
we went and saw all 3 minute theaters, and when we saw this movie, we were obviously nervous as well. But yeah, no disappointment whatsoever.
Late to the party said that you kind of screamed at them for the fact that they didn't know the answer to that that 9 men question. They were saying in the chat for our last video.
Yep, I was more than a little upset with both critically acclaimed and Late to the Party. I was in the audience that day, and Emma and I were both like, "You people don't deserve to be up there if you don't know that there are not Black Riders." It's pretty simple, guys.
I was about to say, Chris, how did that feel knowing you wrote that question? I'm curious.
These, like I said before, these are my favorite movies, and that's like the easiest question you could ask about these movies.
Exactly.
Seriously.
I was like, what? It's like they say the 9 like 1,000 times in the movie, like the 9 have come. Like,
what's sad is I wrote down the answer and I wasn't confident, because I don't know these movies, and I was sitting there going, I think it's this one.
Yeah, like you, Chris, I grew up watching the animated The Hobbit and Return of the King movies, and then read the books, and so like that was my introduction into this story. And then I was just psyched when these movies came out, and I was a freshman in high school going with my friends to watch this, and it just blew me away.
Wait, isn't that the same actor from the A-hole in Matrix?
Yes.
Yes, Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving. Thank you.
He's also Red Skull.
Yeah, the more you know, guys.
And Viva Vendetta.
And Priscilla, Queen of the Night.
Desert.
Sorry. Yes, you're right.
This prologue is done so well.
So fucking good.
It's so good.
Sets the stage perfectly.
Yep.
And I think it was an afterthought, right?
Yeah, they didn't know how to get so much history into people who hadn't read the books. And so, like, they originally had Elijah Wood was going to be the one reading it, and then they didn't even have one. There was all kinds of back and forth, but I can't imagine the movies without it at this point.
Because then it cuts out so much exposition that you...
Yeah.
Didn't they even have Ian McKellen too try?
I think so.
Yeah, they had Gandalf doing it at one point, and then he was the one who was like, "This is not working. You need to have Cate Blanchett do this."
Because you want Cate Blanchett to do everything.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I actually think Gandalf got all the way up to ADR. I think I remember that in the documentary or something, where he was doing the voiceover and he suggested Cate. But yeah.
Now, a criticism I have heard towards this film is the use of Sauron as this big, bulging, just evil thing. When, if you read the books and you know that that's not necessarily what his character was, but I think in the context of the adaptation process, it works as setting him up as the ultimate evil who wanted to basically take over everything.
Yeah, you want to personify evil somehow. You want to depict it in a physical way, because people, it's fine to read it in a book and imagine it however you want to, but in a visual medium like film, you have to give people a visual representation of evil. And I really liked it. I thought that's very menacing.
Here we get our first extended scene.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is all brand new to me. This is awesome.
Yep.
Wait, what?
Chris has never seen the extended edition.
Oh my god!
That's awesome.
Heathen.
Don't worry, I'll point out
fuck
pretty much every time there's an extended scene.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen the theatrical.
luckily, I'll be able to
I've seen the movie so
tell.
many
Okay.
times, I can tell you every scene that's new.
Well, I've seen the movies a lot, but I don't really remember the theatrical cut. I just try to block that
Same.
from my memory.
I mean, like when they play them on TV, they play theatrical. So if I ever, even though I own them, I'll watch them on TV. So like I'll see the theatrical there. But anytime I want to watch it, whenever I put on the extended DVDs or Blu-rays.
Yeah, I do. See, it's funny. I'm someone who I kind of always go with theatrical versions of pretty much everything, just because that to me is that's the version that was released, and that's what I think is the version of the film. And then, so I am always someone who I'll watch the theatrical version as well. Plus, also a 3.5-hour movie is just a nightmare to watch in one night.
Thank you, Jacob. You are such a blessing.
That's crazy.
But the 3.5-hour movie, feels just as short as the 2 one.
Yeah, I agree with Chris. Like
3.5-hour movie is so fucking good,
and especially the fact for Return of the King where your main villain dies and it's cut from the theatrical version. What they cut is stupid. Yeah.
You know what's crazy to me about that is every New Year's Day I watch all the extended versions in one sitting, and you're complaining about 3.5 hours.
I mean, I watch all the extended versions just multiple times a year. Whenever I have a weekend off that I feel like I just watch these movies because they're just so good. I just need to see them every once in a while.
By the way, guys, this isn't my responsibility, but we have 27 people watching live. If we can get at least 5 of those people sharing it, then we can potentially get more people watching live, which will turn into more donations for the charity. So share this link as much as you can, so we can lead people to raising money for the cause that we're doing.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's great.
In Home was such a good Bilbo.
Oh, such a good Bilbo.
And then how well Martin Freeman was able to take what Ian Holm had done and not mimic it because he brought his own thing to it, but like you totally see both of them as iterations of that character.
Absolutely. Yeah, we talked about that during The Hobbits, that he's just he does such a good job of making you see how he will become Ian Holm, but not being like a cheap imitation. He just did such a good job.
This shot and the score is just it's so good.
I have this map hanging in my office. It's huge too.
Yeah, I bet.
I need to buy this. I need to buy that map.
It's beautiful, and it's right from the books, which I love.
Yep. They did a great job with all the little details in the Shire and in Hobbiton, like so good. Like all the maps and books and so good.
I feel like that shot alone cost them near 500 grand. Just that one shot with the whole set design is ridiculous.
They had to build 2 sets.
Every little detail of this
movie. A big one and a little one.
Yep. So this is an exact replica, and there's another one that is bigger so that Gandalf can be in it and look smaller. Like the way that they did it is just genius.
And so practical for the most part, which I loved too.
Yeah.
You can just tell. That's one of my issues with The Hobbit, is that so much more CGI in that one, and you can tell this one feels more real to me.
There wasn't any forced perspective in The Hobbit much. It was
they didn't need as much because it was dwarves and hobbits and they're almost all the same size, but
that's true. But
and this is a new scene too.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this scene.
Last time late to the party, the whole crew was in LA to shoot. Tim Franco and I had a long conversation about Lord of the Rings, and we were debating our favorite pieces of the score, and his favorite was Concerning Hobbits.
I love this score.
Yeah, can't really argue with that.
No, you can't.
It's so good.
As a whole, this score is a masterpiece.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, from beginning to end, there is not one thing where I'm just like, well, it could have been better. Just a masterpiece.
He understood that you use themes. And like so many modern day composers, that seems to have gone out the window. It's what John Williams was so amazing at. And the composers these days, it's beautiful music, but you don't immediately associate the music with the characters in the movies. It's the way that you used to, and like Howard Shore did here.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
Chills just listening to this conversation and talking about this, because I think I have a favorite. I don't know. It's hard to pick. I mean, the Bridge of Khazad-dûm, I love that. The Ring
so
Goes South. the lighting of the beacons. I know where that's in Return of the King.
that's
That's my
beautiful.
favorite scene in any movie ever.
That's my second favorite.
Right above the Balrog scene.
That guy was in
today,
Deep
but,
Impact. That's from the commentary. If I quote the commentary, it's because I'm trying not to just quote the whole movie.
Those 3 commentaries are fantastic.
They are
There's
some of
4, I
the
think.
best commentaries.
Oh, there's 4. There's the cast, there's
Yep.
the directors, there's just Peter Jackson, and then there's the writers. or
There's
special effects.
because there's some other posts. I forget. I've listened to
I
the
know what.
director and cast commentaries a lot. I haven't listened to the other ones as much. It's been a while since I've listened to those.
There's a Weta one. There's a Weta workshop one. Yeah.
Yeah, the cast commentary on Fellowship is one of the best things I've ever listened to.
Especially the story about the boat capsizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
These
Or
two
the
actually gotten to be really good friends, which is amazing because then it just mirrors the Fellowship.
Yeah.
what was the game they made up?
Cup. The cup.
Yeah. The
The cup. Yeah.
no,
Just
wait,
cup
no,
game.
where they made up a game and they told Elijah Wood that this was a real.
They had the cup game and then they had
there was,
another game.
there was something they
yeah.
kept Tig.
Yeah, Tig.
Tig,
Tig
and they kept
tag.
like, you can't tag a Tig, you can tig a
Yeah.
tag, and you can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was I think that's more discussed. Yeah. Special features, but
Yeah, there was when these came out, someone like went through and like made up a bunch of rules for Tig. I remember. It was great.
what was it? Didn't Elijah Wood turn like 20? Was it 21? Did he turn
18, wasn't it?
That's right. It was either 18 or 21. I think it was 18.
Bloody
I
hell.
think it was.
Jonathan Peck in the chat. No, I have not seen any of the early Peter Jackson films. I just have seen Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, and King Kong.
Heavenly Creatures is amazing. It's one of Kate Winslet's earliest roles. I highly recommend it to anybody.
And Brain Dead is a
Well,
lot
and-
of
Or Dead Alive,
Yeah.
if you prefer.
I mean, are those horror movies?
Yeah.
Gory.
And
Well-
this is why I haven't seen them.
But they're fantastic. They're just cheesy and wonderful.
See? That's why I probably never will see them, though.
That's too bad. You're missing out, man.
I just don't ever like horror. Sorry for having an opinion.
I generally agree with Case. I don't.
Thank you.
Ah, crap.
This is
dang it,
upsetting because
encouraged
horror is
him.
like my favorite genre.
To each their own.
Did they recreate this set in The Hobbit, or did they put it in storage?
I think it because they have tours you can take of Hobbiton, and I think that this was still up.
Okay.
But I
I mean,
like the stuff wasn't all there, but I think
I
that
think-
the building itself was still around.
So I
Can you
felt
go
like
in stuff in Hobbiton? I was thinking that the only place
It's
you could actually go
explore.
in was the dragon.
Yeah,
Dragon.
there's that, and then there's a gift shop.
Mm.
I think everything else is it's empty behind those doors.
Yeah, I think it's just
Yeah.
like just dirt and like a wall.
Yeah, but they didn't deconstruct it, so I'm guessing that they just used it again.
Yeah, I can't remember.
There was also a tour, I remember, in between the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies where it traveled the world and went to museums, and a bunch of props and costumes would travel around. And my family and I went to it when it came to Boston. And you got to see a lot of the things that they actually used in the movie. So they saved a lot.
Yeah.
Whether they had to reconstruct some of it, I'm sure they did. But
Mhm.
I have a feeling that by the time Return of the King came out, they were like 90% sure they were going to find a way to do the Hobbit movies. Took them longer than they thought it was going to, but they knew they were coming back to Middle Earth because it made money.
This
Well,
is the-
yeah.
And this is the movie where you get to see it the most. I just
Yeah.
imagine what the scouring of the Shire could have been like, though.
I
if they
know.
could've-
Oh my
Yeah.
God, these kids.
If there had been another ending, though,
Yeah, I know.
I think that the naysayers would have been like, no more endings in Return of the King.
I hate that argument people give. I hate that.
They could have
multiple
ended it. They
ending
could have gone on and on. I wanted to see what happened to Gimli and Legolas too.
I loved that
I've
scene.
got
Sailing
into
off
a,
together.
Twitter argument with Roka about the endings of.
Oh, don't even
Mickey.
just don't indulge him.
Just-
Do not indulge
Just
Roka
don't.
talking about
That-
Lord of
that
the
was-
Rings.
yeah.
Just don't. Believe me, I go to bat with him every time on it.
I've never done it in person, but
Oh
I've
my
had
god.
a
You-
couple Twitter exchanges with him.
There was one time where it was like you and me and Jen and someone else, and we were all like trying to convince Roka to watch the movies again, and like, this is why you should give them another chance. And it was great.
Has he not seen the extended versions?
It's not the scenes or anything. It's he doesn't like the hobbits. He likes manly dwarves. He doesn't like hobbits. He thinks they're whiny, which is absurd on every level.
That's
Well, Ross,
but he's also the one who likes Transformers. So
it's we won't
Which
hold
is
it
the bottom
against him
line argument
much.
he's against him.
Well, I might.
So
I do like the
Ross,
first one of that, but-
to answer your question, would those kids love my firework gift? Yes, they would. They have to. It's great.
Yeah, that kid fireworks scene is one of my favorites of the entire trilogy. It's just like the joy, and like Gandalf is like laughing about it, and then there's the old man. It's just like, I love it so much. It's just so good.
You have to set up Hobbiton and hobbits and the world as being so lovely so that you care when it's put in peril. And it's perfect. Like, I can't wait. Someday I'm going to New Zealand and I might just move into one of those hobbit holes.
That would be awesome.
Some friends of mine, they went on their honeymoon to New Zealand, and they went to Hobbiton about a year ago. I was so jealous.
If my husband liked Lord of the Rings as much as I did, I might be able to convince him to do that.
Yes, and if this YouTube channel ever makes us like any real money, the first thing we're all gonna do, we're gonna get on a plane and gonna fly New Zealand and go to Hobbiton.
No.
We're gonna go visit Jacob. Almost.
No, I'll go to London. I'll go to London.
Yes.
I'll
Yes,
go see
Evan.
Harvey, and then I'll give him an Everton jersey signed by Wayne Rooney.
Sod off. I'll give you a Man United Lukaku shirt then.
Oh, it hurts.
And then
Did you watch the Costa Rica game?
And hey, imagine that soccer references that nobody cares about.
Oh yes, we do.
And
It's a
Ian
beautiful
McKellen's
game.
Gandalf the Grey in the Fellowship is my favorite of his.
Isn't it so
According to
hard to
Gandalf.
decide like who's best cast? Because I have this argument with my family all the time, and seriously, each time you can come up with somebody different as being absolutely perfect to play that role.
Definitely.
I would rather shoot myself in the foot than decide.
Yeah, it's so hard.
I think, honestly, one of the best cast is Viggo Mortensen because he wasn't supposed to be
I love that story.
Aragorn.
About
Yeah, Stuart
Just, like,
Townsend was supposed to be.
Perfect casting. I mean, I can't imagine anyone else being Aragorn.
Thank
And I
goodness for his son.
love exactly, and I love that it was his son that convinced him to do
Yes.
it.
Yep.
Yes.
And he was on a plane like the day before shooting too.
Yep.
Yeah.
They shot
Yep.
stuff with Townsend, and then that's when they decided he was just too young and pretty.
Yep.
I would like to see some of that stuff on the special features.
I
just
kind of
out
would too.
curiosity.
Just be, yeah.
It'd be interesting to see.
I saw
Well,
Viggo Mortensen and Captain Fantastic. I will never see
So
that man
good.
the same. I will never see that man
He's
the same.
amazing. Yeah.
Viggo Mortensen is it. He's an incredible actor.
Yeah.
I love Viggo Mortensen.
He looks like Rick from Walking Dead.
A little bit, I can see that.
Yeah.
I like that story. Like when they brought him in the first day and took him into like a gym or something and gave him like a prop sword, and like all the stuntmen ran at him, charged at him with weapons, and he just stood there like, "What do I do?"
And James John Rhys Davies when he was Gimli would just cut the stunt doubles when they would attack him. And he would just
They
go at
actually
it.
hit him. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Well,
would-
and he's huge in real life. John Rhys
Yep.
is like huge.
yeah, he didn't have a lot of scenes physically with the
No.
with the trio
Was it
because
him?
of his size.
Brett something? It was
Yeah,
his double.
his double his double filmed like half of his scenes.
But he was always there on set.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't get the tattoo though.
Not a tattoo guy, maybe?
Yeah. There's a couple of them who didn't.
Speaking of tattoos, that's something that my family and I did together. We all went and got Lord of the Rings tattoos when I was
Oh
21.
my god.
So both my parents have 6 or 7 Lord of the Rings inspired tattoos each. I have 2. My sister has 2.
I
So,
only have one.
Just in case you didn't know
Unfortunately.
how big of a fan we were.
I'll catch up to you guys eventually. At the moment, I only have the one.
This is the first thing I ever said to Tiffany Smith. I was like, I love that you have a Lord of the Rings tattoo. Can we compare?
All of this is new, I think, right?
No.
No, coming up there's
The
yeah.
birthday party was important.
It's when the other hobbits are looking for Bilbo's the new stuff here in a little bit.
Yeah.
I've seen the extended version so much I don't even remember the theatrical. You know?
I love this because Merry and Pippin like transport around the scene. Like one scene they're like carrying a cake, and the next they're on stage, and like they're just all over. And it's just like, it's just so funny.
There's a great introduction to both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's
Isn't this Peter Jackson, isn't that his little girl? Or
Yes.
Kids?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, these kids are adorable.
There's a Schmaug cameo, I think.
Yeah, that's the firework.
The
I think.
firework.
Yeah, that-
Pretty small, yeah.
I love those kids.
If you could have been an extra in any of the scenes, would you be
Like
a hobbit, a
this one,
dwarf,
right?
or an elf?
I
Or
would be a
man.
hobbit,
Ooh.
definitely.
Hobbit, and just so I could hear Gandalf do, or hear Ian McKellen do that one laugh that he did right there, which is just one of my favorite laughs ever.
I hate to be.
All right, guys, we are coming up to the 22nd minute in 15 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
So
That's
we're,
extended.
we're at 22 in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 22 minutes.
yeah.
Sackville Baggins is. I love the little nods to the books because you know that they're like the terrible relatives for the Bagginses.
Mm-hmm. There was a really cool video game that it followed the book more than it did the movie, but it came out right around when the movie did for the Fellowship. And there was like a whole quest line where you had to like fetch all these things for Lobelia Sackville Baggins, and like you ended up just hating her so much.
Yes, I have.
One of the biggest adaptations is the fact that the ages are wrong. Like all the hobbits are much younger, but it's one of those adaptation decisions that just made so much sense. And now you can't. How can you picture anybody else being the 4 hobbits?
Yeah.
And Elijah Wood really just killed it.
Definitely.
His eyes.
I would argue Sean Austin
Oh.
steals the entire series. Yep.
Well, and Pippin is he's supposed to be the youngest, but
Yeah,
Billy
but
Boyd
Bill
was
Boyd's
the
the oldest.
oldest of all of them.
Yep,
Well,
that looks
even though
nothing
he's
like
the
Schmaug.
oldest, he appears the youngest.
Yes. Yeah. He's very youthful.
Say yes, and here we go again with dragons.
Smaug.
I would have thought they would have in the Blu-ray remodeled that to make it look more like Schmaug from the movie.
No, I'm
No,
glad.
Peter
that they
Jackson's
didn't do
not
anything.
George Lucas. He doesn't need to do that.
Well, they changed the design of Smaug from the first Hobbit to the second one. Like he had 4 legs and then 2. If you watch,
I think, yeah, you're right. Did they change it for the extended for that?
They
Or-
changed it for the DVD, I think.
Yeah.
Because I was watching the special features on that, and he had like 4 feet, like when he goes into the Dwarven City, and then they changed it to where he's got the 2 legs and then the claws on the wings or whatever.
I mean, they could have gone away with that. I would have.
Yeah, I wouldn't have remembered unless I had seen that on the extended special features. I was
Actually,
like, oh, it's kind of a
that-
neat little thing.
That's a little
Proud?
waste of like.
I love that.
I like half of you, half as well.
I do just want to give a donation shout out to Rassica. Thank you so much for your donation.
Yay, Ross.
Yay, Razika! Hi. If you're here.
Say we love Raska. He can donate his money. He can donate his memes and make us laugh like it's nobody's business.
How much are we
Razaka's
at
a
now,
good
Jacob?
Gosh, that's such a great line.
We're now at $715. This is
Oof.
insane.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful and thank you to everyone who has donated.
Yeah, and the more people who watch, I'm gonna donate for whatever the peak is on any episode I'm on. So invite it, make my bank account empty, please don't. But I might put a limit on that just in case the peak is like too much. But right now we're at $37, so invite some more people in, get some more people to watch.
We should get PewDiePie to retweet it.
Jesus Christ, guys. I don't have that much money.
PewDiePie.
Oh, Jonathan, what's happened? I'm gonna message him privately.
I have it on, it's still working. Have you tried refreshing it?
Well, I don't think he can hear us.
Oh yeah. Derp to derp. Well, let me just put that in the chat. It's here in my pocket.
Actually, no.
What has it got in its nasty pockets? Oh wait, it's the ring.
I love that callback. That it's like, I don't know. I think it's a cool callback to The Hobbit before they made the movies.
The Hobbit put it in to be a reference to the Lord of the Rings, I believe. Lord of the Rings, I believe.
Yeah, but they were making a reference
it's
to
from
it
the books.
It's in the book. Yeah, they're
Oh,
referencing
okay.
the book.
That's his final
Okay.
riddle to Gollum.
Yes. Yeah. The riddle scene
Arguable
is
riddle, but
well, yeah. The riddle scene is one of the best adapted scenes from
Oh,
the book
it's probably my favorite scene from any of the Hobbit movies.
because it was so well adapted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did anybody point out or address the in the first Hobbit movie when Azog and Thorin like look back and forth at each other like 8 times in the final battle when they're on the cliff? Like it's like stare, stare,
Yeah.
stare. Oh god, it drags up for like a minute.
Whoa.
That entire movie is.
Ugh. That is just so cool.
Yeah, so yeah, this is one of the scenes that freaked me out when I was a kid, but I loved it.
Like the sound of like the wood creaking. It's like, so good.
Not just that, the color correction on that was great.
I did
You will
know
never
that.
see
Jonathan
me
Pett.
happier.
I do remember that one. That the Beatles wanted to make Lord of the Rings.
Yes, they did.
Thank God that never happened.
The Beatles?
Would have sucked.
Yeah.
Would they made it into a musical?
No,
Oh,
they
no.
literally wanted to make Lord of the Rings.
Oh. Wow. I mean, it
When
couldn't
did
have
they
been-
want to make it?
Like 60s, 70s.
Okay,
And
okay, yeah.
and they asked Kubrick to direct it.
Oh wow.
Oh, that would have been amazing. Yes.
Yeah, but it would have been.
Harvey, are your pants okay?
Weird.
No, they're not. No, Stanley Kubrick. Anything Stanley Kubrick, I'm just like,
It wouldn't have been better than these movies we're watching right now.
No.
It's just not possible.
they would have been different.
Yeah, and different in this case is worse.
Mm. We'll never know.
I do admit that I kind of wish we'd gotten Del Toro's version of The Hobbit.
Yes.
I think that
Yes, that would be-
design-wise, if nothing else, like imagine Del Toro's Mirkwood. I just
Oh,
think
that
that
would
would
be
have been so cool.
You know what? I do wonder what that would have been like. I still
I'm a,
like that the continuity of it, the fact that there are some things that tied the two together, I thought was fine, but
I know that I'm about to piss off every single person watching this. I think Del Toro is one of the most overrated directors working today. So I was kind of glad that he didn't.
Well, the fact that he dropped out really screwed Peter Jackson over, though, because he had to do like his 3 years of pre-production he had for this movie had to do in 3 months. So yeah, it was a shame.
And Del Toro has problematic movies. There's no denying that. But he's like a Zack Snyder to me. Visually speaking, the man's got brilliant ideas. So I'll always see a movie that he does, but I won't necessarily always love it.
Hello, everyone.
Well, Matthew
Hello.
Kearns. Now,
I am not here to watch The Hobbit, or what are we up to?
Watching
Fellowship.
Fellowship. That's the one with the Eye of the Stargate and the Game of Thrones, right? Is that it?
Okay, Kearns, this really pisses me off. Just fuck off if you don't care about this. God.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Settle down.
I
Kees,
just
settle
want
down.
to just
Kees.
say, have fun with the stream. What you guys are doing is great, raising money for charity. I wish I could join for the whole thing, but I have to run out. But have fun, guys, okay?
Yeah,
Thanks,
Peace out,
Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Bye, buddy.
Okay.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
I like
and
movies
this
before these came
again,
out, but
yeah.
this is the
Again,
franchise.
this is this bit here is a bit of a continuity issue with The Hobbit now. But anyway, we talked about that yesterday.
What was it again?
How does he not know that it's Sauron? Like how? That's yeah. It just
well, to be fair, his love for the halflings leaf clearly slowed his mind.
I just tend to ignore that in The Hobbit. He's like, I don't really care.
Or he just doesn't want to think it's true. But
Well, that's like what, a 60-year gap, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you haven't heard anything for 60 years. You kind of don't think about it.
yeah.
Nine writers.
I was gonna say, for people who
Not
don't
five.
think that this movie's scary, I present you with this because I was an adult when we just saw this, all the Black Rider stuff. Like, and some of the orcs, but honestly, the Black Riders for me are the scariest, and they're so prominent in this movie that, oh my god, I thought they're brilliantly done.
And that's exactly why I haven't seen Lord of the Rings in a long time.
There were a couple scenes I remember watching the first time I saw in like Return of the King that like my heart was like jumping out of my chest because like I was like pretty freaked out, and I think I was like 15. So yeah, no, there's some scary stuff in this.
I remember that the first several times I watched this, it didn't click for me that he went to Minas Tirith here.
same. I didn't.
Somebody
And I
missed
finally,
that.
I just finally like.
A good little nod, yeah.
Because that's a central part of later on.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I always thought this was just a book place. I never realized it wasn't until
A
recently.
book place.
Yeah.
All right, guys, just doing
I
it.
wrote a question about it.
Sorry, just real quick, doing a time update. We are we'll be at the 35th minute in 1 minute. So in 50 seconds, I'll give you guys a countdown, but get set up for the 35th minute. And Rachel, Sean Red just would like to say hi in the chat.
Hi, Sean. Thank you. Thanks for joining us and watching. That's what my family got a tattoo of. We each have a line of the poem tattooed.
That's awesome.
Mine's on my upper back. And then I have a Lothlorien leaf because the elves clearly are my favorite characters.
Really? I didn't know that.
So the only thing they didn't resize in these entire movies are these dogs. Like that's like a Yorkshire Terrier, like in real life.
All right, guys, we're at the 35th minute in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 35 minutes.
Okay, I'm 2 seconds behind. That's cool.
It's all cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. I wish we could have. I know they don't really say much in the book, but just the voices of the Black Riders. Wish we could have heard a little bit more of that kind of creepy, like
Hissing kind of. Yeah.
I don't know where you would have used it or how, but
Maybe Weathertop.
Yeah.
And Evan, and Rassica would like to say hi to Evan as well.
And
no one else, just Evan.
And my shirt tearing abilities. Yes, I have very good shirt tearing abilities. I can't speak English right now, with specifically scissors. So if you ever need to tear a shirt, just use scissors.
Or muscles.
See, this whole scene is new,
Yep,
isn't it?
most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
they
it's
used to, they were
needed.
just stumbling out before.
Yeah. I
Usually,
love it.
It starts right here. I think they just leaving.
I love any way that they can put some more of the songs back in, because the songs were such a big part of the book.
Yep.
And there's Kieran's drunk walk. Kieran was one of the size doubles.
Yeah, he was Elijah's, right?
Yeah. He's got this great drunk walk.
Yep.
Very wobbly.
And you have a leg.
Do any of you guys ever go back and watch the trailers for these movies just to kind of relive that moment of nostalgia? I don't know. Sometimes I do.
I worked for the company that did those trailers. I was there. I know the woman who cut all three of them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, she was amazing. And I remember when we were getting in dailies for Return of the King, I was an assistant editor and I would run from the room because I didn't want to see anything. I was like, I want to see the movie. I don't want to see any unfinished effect shots. I don't want to see anything until the actual moment. And then because the editor did the trailer, she was invited to the premiere and she brought me with her. So I got to see the LA premiere of Return of the King for the first time. It was amazing.
My fandom for Rachel just went to an even higher ground. How can I handle this?
That was my first job in LA, to work for a trailer company.
That's the dream.
Oh, Harvey.
I love that effect they did with the reflection on his face.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It became one of the iconic images. It was in the trailer and in the posters.
Yeah.
Sorry, by the way, in the chat, who's Star Wars lore? You're being really active, and I just want to know who you are. So, if you feel free.
That's Steven from. Actually, I think you bumped into him at Celebration.
Yeah, Celebration. Yep.
Yeah, they've been around for a couple of the movies. They were very active in the last movie as well.
I was watching my high school football team getting absolutely smashed. Yeah.
Sports, excitement. Sports.
Rassica says that's Pablo Hidalgo. Drink, wrong franchise.
Here at Take 3, we do not endorse drinking. Let's make things clear.
No, we don't, Evan. No, we don't.
I love that the ring has its own voice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a Horcrux?
No, don't.
No,
come on.
Get out of here, Jacob. And if it is
Sorry.
a Horcrux, then Jacob
I
really
know. I was just hashtag wrong franchise.
I'm trying to remember too. Who wasn't it? One of the production guys' wedding ring they used as a.
Yeah.
Yeah, the head of
It's
Weta.
the younger
Weta.
guy.
Yeah.
I think it was
They were using it in the promo and the for previs when they were doing those shots. Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that guy's name because I know his face.
Is it Rick Boris?
See,
Something like
he's
that.
the head of
Younger,
Weta.
dark. It would no, it wouldn't. It wasn't.
I know who you're talking about.
It wouldn't
Yeah.
Taylor. What's his name?
Guys, I'm sorry about just now. Shouldn't have done that.
That's fine. It's fine. God, this scene creeps me the hell out.
That darn golem. Ugh. Again, terrifying, right? Like,
Yeah.
I've seen that. I'm totally understanding where Evan would have been scared. You know.
I mean, yeah,
I don't know
it
if I
is
can swear
kind of
on this,
scary,
but-
yeah.
And this is terrifying. It reminded me of Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp.
Oh, I love that movie.
It's an underrated movie, I think.
Very underrated.
You get to see Richard Griffiths get his head cut off. Oh, like that. Yeah, but yeah.
Do you now understand the reason why my parents were like, we might get Harry Potter instead?
Oh, my parents did not have a problem, but I'm also older than you, so.
If I was 15 or 16, I would have gone to this easy, and I would have fallen in love, and I'd be like you guys right now, loving Lord of the Rings.
Or you could just be cool like me and love them all. So
don't be okay. I really enjoy these movies. I really, really enjoy them. I do think they are really well made, fantastic films, and I do believe they deserve the Oscar that year. I just have never, adored them to the level of other franchises like Star Wars and Harry Potter.
Watching the appendices just gives you so much of a better understanding of it all too. It's magic.
And again, I feel so sad for not having any money to just, go freaking buy the extended edition of Return of the King and just watch the freaking appendices.
You should. It's a great. In fact, the DVDs you could get that they have the same special features as the Blu-rays. It might be an even better deal because I like the actual DVD cases better because the books, they're like little bookshelf kind of things. Which I think those are the ones that Robert Meyer Burnett made.
I haven't done this in a while, but for years or for a long time, I would, when I'd go to bed, I'd put on either these movies or the the commentaries or the special features and just watch them until I fell asleep.
I used to do that every summer growing up. Pretty much, I would just sleep on the couch, and my parents would get so mad at me.
The appendices are, yeah.
I got
They'd
to where
walk
I could
downstairs
remember the appendices just as well as them. It was like, okay, this is what's coming next. Like, this is what they're talking about next. It's like, oh, when did they talk about that? Oh, yeah, that was this part of disc 3 of whatever. It's like,
I've been dropping no eaves, sir. Honest. So good.
Unnatural.
I love it.
No.
Something about a Dark Lord.
Something about a Dark Lord. It's so good.
The forced perspective in this is great.
Yep, and then they decided to do a gimmick in the Hobbit and do and well.
See, this movie does it well. They spend just the right amount of time in Hobbiton, whereas in the first Hobbit movie, they spend like 20 minutes too long, I think, in Bilbo's house. I know they're wanting to recreate all those scenes from the book, but they take way too long at the beginning of that movie to get.
I was actually about to bring that up. When we were watching The Hobbit, we were complaining that it took 40 minutes to get up for him to leave the Shire. We're 40 minutes into this, and they're only just leaving the Shire now.
Okay, that's extended though.
Well, and also the beginning is
Even
there's
without
like a
that,
5 or 6 minute intro,
Yeah.
and
I mean, there's a lot more going on before the 40-minute mark in this movie than in The Hobbit. So.
Yeah.
I remember the second time going to see The Hobbit, like I almost fell asleep in that scene because I'm like, oh my gosh, let's go. Like,
you went a second
I'm going
time.
on an adventure.
yes, I did. I
I
wanted
did
to try to convince myself that it was good, but
Mm,
well, and
you
it was my brother's
pre-called it.
birthday, and we went on a family outing. So
It was his birthday, and he wants it.
yes. Home.
Yeah, so now I'm about to hear a title drop of one of my favorite Under Oath songs.
At what point is Tom Bombadil supposed to be in the book?
Before they get to Bree.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All 4 of them are together. Yeah.
Yeah, so they haven't gotten to that point yet.
Okay. I've always wondered what that was. What was that sequence with Tom Bombadil? Do you guys know?
You mean
What do
from
you
the
mean?
books or?
Yeah, from the books. I've just heard about it. I don't know what it is.
It's
That
like
would
an
take a long
old
time to
yeah.
explain.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
in the,
Yeah, I was
in
gonna
the,
say,
it makes
yeah,
sense.
Do you got a
that
couple hours?
yeah.
Okay.
It's another like old world being, you know, that's a protector of a certain forest, and then they sort of just gave some of his lines to the Ents in the next movies, just so they could like fulfill that role. They didn't need
Okay.
it twice, basically. Although, could you imagine anybody who's read the books that the Barrow Down scene could have been pretty freaky?
That would have been so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That would have been, yeah.
Oh, this is an extended scene, by the way.
Yes, the elves going to the Grey Havens. Beautiful.
I love how it's lit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just awesome.
They digitally color graded every single shot like that.
Oh yeah, and they did such a good job with it.
They had to keyframe all of that glow. That's ridiculous.
Well, it's because they actually cared about how it looked in the final product, which I
Yep.
really
It's
appreciate.
fantastic.
There's so many reasons I love this movie, but one of the small reasons is, out of all of them, it's the one with the fewest CGI. I mean, it's just, I mean, there's about a third or quarter to what's in Return of the King. And it's
Even in
all,
there,
you know, on set, you know, or out on location. Which, I mean, the locations on all these movies are gorgeous, even in The Hobbit. But
Yes, Manning, all the Lord of the Rings movies do say the title of the movie in the movie, aka the roll credits.
this is more of a character building. It's not a lot of battles. Like,
And that's why I think it's my favorite. It's when the Fellowship's actually together. You know, they split up at the end of the movie, so you don't get to be with them all. And then we haven't gotten there yet, but I'm sorry, Sean Bean makes things better. So
Yeah.
having
Oh,
him
Sean
yeah,
Bean
he's
is
my
great.
favorite. That's
That's
another
true.
reason I like Fellowship, because of Sean Bean. Yeah.
for me
Well,
is
and
actually
the extended does a good job of adding some more Sean Bean into the film.
with the flashbacks with Faramir. Yeah.
Yeah, in Two Towers.
But can,
I mean, Return
can
of
we
the King
also
is
say
one of my favorite movies. So, but I just, all the other ones, they jump around to all different storylines, which you have to. But this one is just much more straightforward. You know.
But there's the one big difference between this and the Hobbit films, and that's this was shot on film, they were shot digitally, and you can
You
tell.
can tell.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is film, and you can tell it's on film, and
It's
it looks
gorgeous.
incredible.
Gorgeous.
I love that Christopher Lee was pretty much the biggest Tolkien fan of the whole group, and he would have the books on hand for everything.
he read it every year since he was like in his 20s, I think he said.
That's what I
It was
do too.
he was the only one on set who had actually met Tolkien.
At a book
Like
signing.
Imagine.
no one had met him before, and he was the only one who had.
And Tolkien had actually given him permission, like, if they ever make a movie, I want you in it.
He originally wanted Gandalf, but I think he,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
he
think
was
that's what-
happy.
yeah.
He's perfect as Saruman, though.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
And how they build him up in The Hobbit is actually one of the good things I like about that too.
Yes.
Yes.
Great eyebrows.
It's just
Eyebrow game on bleak.
Yeah.
It's just funny how he can't tell he's evil.
Well,
now he's starting to get it.
Remember last time we saw him, you know,
Yeah,
he was gonna take care of Sauron. Oh, he was gonna take.
he was
care
gonna
of that.
take care of him.
Manning, I agree with you. Return of the King is the best. I mean, I love Fellowship. Fellowship is perfect, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time, but it's just not as good as Return of the King in my book.
Two Towers
that's
it just has, yeah. I like how everything is separated in towers.
Well, Two Towers also has one of the best set pieces, which is Helm's Deep.
Yes.
Helm's Deep
yes.
is amazing.
One of the best filmed anything in any piece of cinema, Helm's Deep.
It's my favorite film battle of all time.
It's like,
Imagine,
yeah, it's just so perfect.
imagine how the extras felt during that one.
And
Oh,
look,
it's miserable.
as great
Oh,
as
yeah.
Helm's Deep is, yes, it is amazing, and everyone gives it praise. And yes, it is great, but I think that the Battle for Minas Tirith is just a little bit better.
It's bigger. I'll
That's
give it
just
that.
me.
Bigger. I feel like you get more of the actual
I'm
battle
kidding.
in Helm's Deep.
Yeah. Also,
Flying Black Riders. I'll give it that.
Two
Yeah,
Towers.
that's pretty cool.
It's a good shot.
And-
I love that shot when they fly in.
In Two Towers, you get a lot of the trio.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trio is banter is great.
Those fell beasts are pretty creepy, though.
When you ask me on any given day what my favorite Lord of the Rings movies, 80 to 90% of the time I'll say Fellowship, but then the other percentage will be Return of the King.
I usually just say it's one movie, and that just solves the problem.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool.
It's one 12-hour movie.
Yep.
Exactly.
Anytime you ever play those games, like if you could only pick one movie or pick 5 movies down on a desert island, I'm like, Lord of the Rings. Like that's one. That counts.
Just the box
when you
set.
have it in the box set.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
Yeah. So then I can use my other 4 for whatever.
Wizard fight.
Oh yeah, yeah, but
Malcolm Lay in the chat is saying, "I love living in Middle Earth." He's a Kiwi.
He lives in New
Get
Zealand.
out of here, Malcolm.
Good for you.
Oh yeah,
for
that's also how you can see these movies. A 12-hour New Zealand commercial.
except thanks for Malcolm was really nice to me the other day, so thanks, Malcolm.
they really
Get outta
hide the stunt doubles well for this one though.
Mhm.
Especially for Lee and Ian.
This won the MTV Fight of the Year.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Useless knowledge. Casey, you never asked about that in your trivia. I would have gotten that one right.
Wait, what?
There were MTV awards. This won the Fight of the Year. The Saruman Gandalf fight.
That's funny.
It is.
I would have given it to Aragorn versus Lutz, but
Lurtz.
Lurtz, yeah.
Lurtz, yeah.
Lurtz, oh my god.
Favorite orc of all time.
Wait, no. Everyone versus the cave
The
troll.
cave troll? Nah, Aragorn versus Lurtz.
Or Gandalf versus the Balrog.
That's
Oh,
isn't it more
That's
Two
nice.
Towers though?
You see more of it in Two
Yeah,
Towers.
I'd say it's more
Yeah.
of a Two Towers fight.
But the unit you shall not pass scene is my second favorite
I love
scene.
this scene too. Any scene with all 4 of the hobbits together, they just play off each other so
Just some
well.
cabbages.
Farmer Maggot, shout out.
He's expanded upon in the book, I'm assuming.
I mean, yeah, a little bit. They spend more time in this section of the journey with other people. There's even another hobbit, Frederick Bolger, that's not even in the movie at all.
Shortcut to what? Mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
Nice little chapter shout out.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, this score is once again so good.
Yep. Oh, you got one poop joke in the entire franchise, I believe.
That was close.
Yeah. I hated that freaking scene with the trolls and the Hobbit with all those jokes.
Yeah.
That was.
Mushrooms.
I love how they keep pushing him down. Like, that's just so funny. Oh,
is.
hobbits. Oh, hobbits. And like this with the camera work, how it like
Oh,
yeah.
it's
the
so
road
creepy.
like zooms in, like, oh, it's so good.
It's the Jaws shot. I love this shot. Like, I'm not trying to. That was like being a dick. It's the Jaws shot, but it's such an incredible shot.
It like that's just so well done.
And they also kind of do a little bit of that with the Shelob's tunnel too. They
Yes,
kind of do that.
yes.
Zoom out, zoom in, whatever. I don't even know.
And I love how the Black Rider automatically brings fog with it. That's just
Yeah.
appears out of the tree too. Watch, it doesn't come from the other
Yeah.
side of the screen.
Yeah.
there is no movie.
I think they talk about that in the commentary actually. Like
How
the
it comes out of nowhere.
The Phantom Horse, yeah.
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 He's got like nails sticking out of his hooves and like the details.
Even
Oh,
the
no,
horse
no,
is
oh,
just
no.
terrifying.
that
Yeah.
shit is brutal.
It's like just look down. Look down.
Yeah.
And like this with all the bugs crawling.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Cool.
No one will ever see me
by the way,
nerd out as much.
That reminds me a little bit of
of
Peter
Doom.
Jackson's King Kong.
I love how you brought up Kong. I love how you brought up Kong.
That scene in Kong.
Honestly, it always reminded me of Temple of Doom with the.
Oh yeah, as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nah,
But Peter Jackson has had movies with bugs,
And he doesn't
they're
like bugs.
Terrifying.
He hates spiders.
Was it the tunnel web spider that like flips him out or something like that?
Yeah.
Wait, isn't he secretly a ginger?
Peter Jackson?
Yeah. Come on, nobody got that?
Oh.
No.
You were joking. Okay.
Ron Weasley.
He was counting on Jacob there.
Oh.
The
cricket game is real.
And apparently my Ellis from Die Hard laugh is real.
You mean Whitney?
The way
He's
that
gonna kill me for saying that.
One thing that I do really love about the start of this movie is that Jackson's like horror background starts to really show. Like, yeah, this was a horror director.
it sets the Black Riders up to be incredibly menacing, and like you don't. Everything's been so lighthearted and fun, and now the tone shifts, and it's the direness of their story and situation is real, and it establishes that so perfectly. That's the cover of the novels when they were re-released.
Yep, and actually, I own that.
I do too.
The one where it's all three in one book, which I need to find it. God.
And when you see them underneath their cows when he puts on the ring is really creepy as well.
Get to the ferry.
Still.
And the music just adds to it.
So good. No one will ever hear me be so positive, and I'm already like the most positive one. Like, I cannot. I like even the things that are wrong with this. I still don't have anything bad to say about these movies.
Honestly,
there is nothing wrong with
I have nothing negative to say in this scene.
This shot,
perfect suspense.
I love this.
I still remember, like, before going to see the movie, MTV was showed a clip. They showed this scene, like, of the movie, and then I was like about 10 minutes away from going to see the movie, and I always remember it was one of the first scenes I saw in a promotional thing.
Close call.
So Sean Red asks, when are we doing Two Towers? Tomorrow morning, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are doing Two Towers Extended Edition, and we're really
tomorrow
excited.
Afternoon, Jacob. It's morning for you.
Early
tomorrow morning
for you, sadly.
5 a.m. in the morning for me.
Yeah.
And Robert Meyer Burnett is joining for the last hour. It's gonna be great.
That's true.
I might be able to make it for the last half of Return of the King, but I'm not sure.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
All right, awesome.
Oh, but by the way, Bobby Sums asked who is the best Hobbit. It's Sam.
Sam, hands down.
But that's such a. I mean, yeah, it's Sam, but the others are so good.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. The only Hobbit that I have a little bit of an issue with is actually the protagonist of all, Frodo.
Yeah. Frodo does get a little annoying towards the end.
But that's protagonist syndrome. Yeah. That's, protagonist storytelling 101.
Yeah.
And the effect of the ring on him also has an effect on his character, so it makes sense.
Well, yeah, no, like, because he's the surrogate to show how addicting the ring really is. So.
Oh, there was the PJ.
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson.
There's Peach.
Eating that carrot.
That's repeated in Desolation Smaug.
Barliman Butterbur coming up here.
He's the bartender?
Yes.
It was like the owner.
I believe innkeeper.
Yeah.
And these people that walk through them here, they're on like big rig stilts or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Such an amazing introduction to the character.
So this dialogue is slightly different in the theatrical cut.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm. Right, we'll be
give
at
him
1
an
hour
extra
and
line.
30 seconds. Guys, for everyone watching at home, time check. We're gonna be at 1 hour in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're 1 hour into Fellowship of the Ring. And it only felt like 30 minutes to me, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Honestly, a little bit shorter for me, but yeah.
And it's crazy when you think about we're just now getting introduced to Aragorn.
Yeah.
But it doesn't
the
matter.
best character of this franchise.
Yep.
Comes the point.
No argument.
The official runtime, I think, is what, 3 hours and 33 minutes.
I have 3 hours
20,
48, but it's like 20 minutes of end credits.
I think it's like it's like 10. 20
3
minutes.
hours and 27 minutes and 30 something seconds on mine.
Yeah. I think the theatrical was like 2 hours and 58, and there was 30 minutes of extra in this.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember the only one that was over 3 hours was Return of the King.
I think it was 3
Which
hours
was-
and 21.
Yeah.
That one was 200 minutes on the dot.
It's weird how I remember those run times, and I think there was 43 minutes of extra stuff in Two Towers and 54 in Return of the King or something like that. I was all about my run times when I was younger.
And actually now this is where I do just some of these close-ups. I get the point of it, to sort of set the establishment, set the tone, but it just sometimes it does bug me. But it's a nitpick.
There are a lot of close-ups in this movie, yes.
Yes.
But
And
this score makes up for it immediately.
Oh yeah.
So I complained about this in The Hobbit, about this shot. This shot in Lord of the Rings is amazing. I don't know why, but in Lord of the Rings it's amazing. But in The Hobbit, I hated it.
It's because it's been done once and it was retread. Instead of like, people sometimes do things and they're like, no, it's an homage. And you're like, no, you're just doing what's been done already. Do something different.
When was it in The Hobbit that it happened? I can't remember.
When he falls back after getting it from Gollum. He falls back and then it goes in the air and yeah.
The whispering is great.
And it's another way to show Sauron as a physical embodiment using the eye, and he sees it whenever he has the ring on. Like, there's just such important touches that he translated from the book, that he had to come up with ways to show it, where in the book it could just tell you. And it's so effective.
They got Aragorn. Was Strider.
It'd be Gandalf. Oh, what Hobbit? Sorry.
Is such a good character.
I love when they charge in here.
Long shanks.
What have you? I don't think I ever realized what he said there. I never took the time to put on the subtitles to understand the long shanks.
Have you shanks?
Bye-bye.
That poor guy. He's dead.
Well, the iTunes version doesn't have subtitles, so I'm literally just watching it.
Well, if you have any questions, there are probably a few of us who have the whole movie memorized and will let you know. I have been holding back just quoting the whole movie.
Oh, you're not going to do it.
I was going to say, Kristen, you and me both. You actually, well, shit. Pretty much everybody here except for Jacob and maybe Harv.
Yeah, it's been ages since I watched
If we were like perfectly synced up, I would probably be doing it more. But
Yeah.
we're all a little off.
I think we're all a little off. It's all cool.
Yeah, it's hard to
By like
quote the
3 or
whole
4
thing.
seconds apiece. It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll tell by the jump scare.
We have been watching these every New Year's Day since they came out, and my parents had to like bribe me to not say any of the lines or sing any of the music or quote commentary during the films. So I would make like $25 every movie, which was pretty good for one day.
That's a good deal.
Stabbing in the bedroom is a cheat, and it's funny. It's an editing cheat.
Yeah.
It's a great editing team.
It's a great one.
Yeah, the first time, if you haven't read the books,
Yeah.
totally would sell you.
I like how they're sitting there with the bright fire by the window looking out. It's like, hey, look over here.
We're over here. But it is a brilliant lighting
Yeah.
choice.
Oh, yeah.
It makes the scene a lot cooler looking.
That's cool. They will never stop hunting you.
These shots are so cool.
Ugh.
Look at that. It's so cool.
Nice little matte painting
So
there.
many great shots in
Yeah.
this movie. In this.
Yes.
Each shot was
Into the wild.
storyboarded to perfection.
Get you a storyboarder who can make it look this great.
Yeah.
Christian Rivers? Forget his name.
Who was the storyboarder for this? Because he storyboarded each shot.
Yeah, and then he went on to like become like the second or third director on the Hobbit
Yeah.
movie, right?
Yeah.
And he animated his storyboards to cut to the
Mhm.
script, and they
Yeah.
put tent music just so they knew what they were doing. It's ridiculous.
Their faces when they realized that he could hear them the whole time.
Yeah.
Cracked me up. Like, oh shit, he's listening to us. Ah.
Well, you know, it's that it's a little bit of elf in him.
Elevensies.
I'm so glad this scene is in the theatrical version.
Yeah.
Oh, could you imagine? The movie's not the same without it.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
in fact, I'll argue it's one. It's a
What?
little
Yes.
less.
What about
What about
second breakfast?
Not lunch.
His face.
Afternoon dinner. Afternoon tea, dinner, supper. He knows about them. On 11 season.
The look on Aragorn's face just says it all.
He's got the perfect resting bitch
Apple.
face.
And like when he was throwing the apples, like he actually threw it like really hard. Like hit him like in the face. That was not planned.
Nope.
It's
But
great.
It's great.
This is added,
ahead.
Chris.
This is
The
added
swamp.
indeed.
Oh yeah, the Midgewater Marshes. That's new.
Yep.
What do they get? They can't get the Hobbit.
The water in this was tearing their feet off, so there's a little weird gap on Pippin's foot when he falls over, where the latex of the foot was starting to peel off.
Oh.
I wouldn't have shot their feet then. Just
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not that the intention shot the feet, but he probably just fell over like you saw in the scene, and you couldn't really take that out of frame.
Well,
I wouldn't
unless-
have put the feet on for that scene. That's what I mean.
Well, unless you had listened to the commentary of that scene and watched all the special effects and everything, you would never have even noticed it.
Is this? I'm not sure if this is cut from the theatrical version.
This is cut.
I've never
It
seen
is cut, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, this is cut.
The Leia Luthien. Yeah. The parallel to Aragorn and Arwen.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really beautiful addition. I mean, I can understand why they didn't have it in the theatrical. It's not necessary, but it just shows how much Tolkien had in terms of backstory.
Yeah.
Behind all of this.
Yeah, because it's happened before.
Right.
And history tends to repeat itself.
Absolutely.
And if you wanted to get really technical, Aragorn and Arwen are related.
Yeah, technically, yes.
Technically
correct.
true.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Generations and generations, like 1,000 years in between them, so it's not such a big deal, but still.
It's not exactly Game of Thrones, but
No, it's not quite Game of Thrones level. No.
I mean, look, I love Game of Thrones as much as the next person, but yeah, it gets a little weird sometimes.
Yeah, and Chris, you haven't even seen the last season yet.
You're not even up to date. It gets weird.
It gets weird.
Oh no. Okay. I'm
but actually, back on this for a sec. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts would be. If with Sean Connery was originally meant to play Gandalf.
Ooh.
There's just not enough nuance there.
Yeah.
No.
Ian McKellen just brings something, like every level he brings something to that character. And I love Sean Connery. I just don't think he's as talented of an actor.
Fair
I
enough.
am the holder of the secret flame. Feel the flame of our Lord.
Yeah.
No,
Our fire
that's
shall
just
not avail
wrong.
you. Flame of Voodoo. You shall not pass. Oh, yes.
Oh my god, that'd be terrible.
And that's right. And the other one, Russell Crowe was cast as Aragorn, and then about a week before he had to pull out.
Oh my God! Can you imagine when they're all standing in front of the Black Gate? Are you not entertained?
But that would have been the worst casting decision this side of Rosie O'Donnell as what's her face in the Flintstones?
Betty.
Yeah.
Betty, yeah.
What a weird thing to call back on, Chris.
Yep.
I forgot about
Well,
that.
it's one of I grew up
Rick
on the movie,
Moranis and
and
John
it's-
Goodman?
Now that was great casting. Rosie, not so much.
Halle Berry's first movie too, I think.
Oh wow.
One of. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a trivia question.
True.
I still can't believe they found that rock.
What are you doing?
Okay, I'm trying to remember. There's a. Okay, I can't remember.
Tomatoes, sausages, and nice crispy bacon.
That's for you, Mr. Frodo.
Now the thing with Amon Sewell, I'm trying to remember when it's referenced in Silmarillion, but it is referenced, and there is a decent sized battle that takes place there. But just trying to remember which part of the book.
It's a wonderful defensive position.
Yes,
I tried to read that book like 3 times, and
it's a little crazy. I'll admit. I only got through it twice myself, but it was worth it.
I have. If I ever do it again, I just got to make sure to get through it because I feel like every other paragraph I was turning back to the glossary in the back just to
The first part's the hardest.
Yeah, the first like couple chapters are difficult.
Yeah.
It's almost helpful if you take notes so that like if you take notes of like who's related to who and all that. Like I did that when I first read it and it helped so much.
And once you get the elves back to Middle Earth, like after all the Feanor stuff, then you get longer chapters that are actual stories.
Yes.
Whereas the first several chapters are the creation of the world and Melkor turning into Morgoth and Valinor and all that stuff. You're sort of like, it's like just listing a ton of names and a ton of things that happen, and it's not a story. Later on, they get more story-like.
I need to also finally finish Children of Huron. I got that several years ago. I started it, but I never got around to finishing it.
And it's just an extension of one of the stories in the Silmarillion. I mean, they're just kind of using it as an excuse to sell another version of the same thing that we actually already know. And that Tolkien didn't write. His son is doing it now.
Yep.
Christopher.
Tolkien. Yep. Or Christopher Tolkien.
This scene is still one of the best of the
Yeah.
entire saga.
Yep. It's like the hero entrance for Aragorn. We've met him, but this is where we get to really see him. And it puts in Frodo in real danger too.
I always laughed at
and
this
also
because
also Frodo seeing them that they were humans through the ring.
Wasn't this Ego's first scene too that he filmed?
I think so.
I think so. This I always laughed at because half of them look like Bill Clinton. Just really random, but like I'm like that one looks like Bill Clinton, and so does that one. Oh my god.
We're really not trying to be political here.
But trust me, that was a great joke.
I'm kidding. I'm just
No political statements, just saying that there's like 3 of them that look a little bit like Bill Clinton.
I can't watch this scene without just having the biggest, dumbest smile on my face because it's like,
because it's so fucking good.
It's so fucking amazing.
I also how he just lights them all on fire and just like.
They might not.
We can kill them with fire. Oh wait, wrong franchise.
Take a drink.
Well, you can't kill them.
No, but you can, slow them
Once
down.
their shrouds have kind of vanished, then they have to go and
So
freaking torch to the face. And stuff.
I mean, if he is still alive, come on. What the?
They can't die. They're already dead.
Yeah. Okay.
They're tied to the ring.
Okay.
What What does dead men never die? Heyo.
Everybody
Hashtag
drink.
wrong franchise.
I couldn't resist. I mulled it over for about a half second. It's like, nope, go for it.
Yeah.
Well played.
Well, that's the thing, dude. It's like when it comes to running jokes on take 3, frankly speaking, we don't give a crap. We just
Just go for it.
exactly.
I'll never make it.
No, the other thing was Patrick Stewart was also offered the role of Gandalf.
That would have
been interesting.
That could have worked. That could have worked pretty well, I think.
I mean, look, I'm glad Ian McKellen is perfect, but
The model and bigotry work on this is so good.
So good.
Oh yeah, this is
compositing is.
I think the only scene that I can really tell, like, just because I've watched it so many times, is the flooding of Isengard.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah,
it's a little not, and it's obviously a model, but it's still that's a nitpick from someone who's seen these movies 1,000 times. But
Now, Bobby in the chat, not Robert Parker, but Bobby Sums, I do have something to say. Running with a joke is one thing, but unfortunately, there is a difference between just combining multiple stuff. Because if you look at the chat, he's like,
I see what he's
Frodo is losing midichlorians by a second. It's like, dude, and now we come to the best drop down shot of all
So
time.
good.
Oh yeah.
On the big screen, it almost makes you slightly queasy.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I've never. Okay. That's yeah.
The amount of dirt they got on these guys, they're just so dirty. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm about to make my second callback to The Descent. I feel like Neil Marshall had to have been inspired by some of these sequences for the way he set up his cave shots.
The Descent was after this, but okay.
No, that's what I'm saying.
right, okay.
Neil Marshall was inspired by this.
Right.
Well, the characters, the creatures in The Descent look a little bit like some of these guys in here, too.
Exactly.
Yeah. I get it. I could see that.
Yeah.
The first thing he does is kill this guy. That's awesome.
That mud looks like chocolate pudding.
They're
I
burned
shouldn't have
out
said
of
that out loud.
Not accurate. Not sure chocolate pudding existed.
I mean, there's probably chocolate pudding what they shot with.
Yeah, I don't know.
Looks delicious. No.
It does not. It does not.
Oh man.
Classic Chris Clark.
No.
And Clark, this is why we have you around, because we love you.
The trolls. The trolls.
Oh, the actual stone trolls, not CGI trolls. Yes,
They did a good job of making sure that the trolls, when they froze, looked exactly like they did right here.
Yeah.
I will say that. Because that could have been a bad continuity error.
I'm surprised they kept their designs. That's the thing.
I'm
Well,
glad
since
that
it was Jackson, he's the one who designed them here in the first place, so
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Kingsfoil.
Atlas.
That's
Oh, it's a weed.
Sorry, I'm done. One every couple minutes.
Which is actually more in Return of the King than Houses of Healing, I think they talk about it more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because only the king can use it
Yeah.
to have any effect.
Out of all the weird book to movie changes, I think this is one of the ones that I'm more okay with.
I wasn't at first because I love Glorfindel, but it makes so much sense if you want to have people care about Aragorn's relationship with a character that never appears in the books, really.
Right.
It's hard to have
Totally
a
forgot
relationship
about
with
Glorfindel
somebody
there.
that's not.
It's been so long.
Glorfindel's awesome.
So just
Yeah,
real
he
quick,
is
we have a
awesome.
time check. We'll be at 1 hour and 20 minutes in 40 seconds.
Yeah, the appendices do a great job of this romance, and it's important for the story, and it's important for Aragorn's character arc.
His motivation.
And so I'm very glad that they found a way to add her in, and I don't at first it was like an obvious change, but it definitely grew on me, and I'm glad they made the change.
And they also made her, because the one negative thing you can say is you quasi-negative thing you could say is that there aren't a ton of strong female characters. I know you have Aowen, and she gets the biggest, badass moment pretty much, but it's...
Sorry, 1 second. We just made a 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Sorry.
Okay. Keep going.
Just saying that I like the addition of Arwen in this context as, you know, she's like, I'm the faster rider. I can rescue him. And then she, you know, has a moment at the Fords, at the Brennan. So that part of getting another female character into the story, I liked. Ring of Bear here.
And for the record, while I was laughing, Rosika made a brilliant joke where he said that when we got to see Lurtz in, you know, get basically created, he said that's how William Bibiani was born.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Oh God.
Well, trust me, I would hope to God that, you know, that like, to me, that's the ultimate compliment. It's like,
That's great.
yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Hashtag orc.
This is just a badass scene.
Oh yeah.
Liv Tyler's commentary, though, is really funny because in the close-up shots, she's on like a wooden barrel on the back of a car, and like she's like having to pretend to be like totally scared on this like these shots here. Like that's really funny.
Yeah.
When she had like, wasn't it like a dummy was Frodo and they kept hitting her in the face when they were right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it had like a mechanical face, and she was like, all I could hear the whole time was like.
Look at this! Like, look how is this all that junk on his face? How they do all that?
Yeah.
So, Robert Parker says in the chat, Liv Tyler is the only actor/actress that I don't think is 100% perfectly cast in Lord of the Rings. I'm fine with her as a character, but I think she might have been a bit miscast.
I mean, yeah.
It's not a case where I couldn't imagine somebody else playing her, whereas certain other characters, nobody else could do it in your mind.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's just because Arwen is just I don't know. She's there.
It's true. I mean, she's there more than she is in the books, but she's still not there in the same way that other characters are.
Yeah. I think she does a great job.
I did like that she pitched her voice low.
Mm-hmm.
That made her, because she looks really young. She was very young, and I know elves are supposed to look ageless, but you look at Hugo Weaving and you see a gravitas to him that the age brings,
John
and Kate
Wilcox.
Blanchett does too.
Sorry.
I love the little stories she tells
Everybody
about
drink.
when her dad went to see the movie with her.
Yeah.
And he's like, who is that doing your voice? And she's like, that was me. I'm an actress. Like, what are you?
Well, that's a compliment because here comes the sea of horses.
So is my inner geekdom question.
Yep.
Who doesn't know it's horses?
Well, someone did.
Uh-oh. Somebody in here, I'm guessing?
Probably me. Probably me.
It's probably either Jacob or Evan, one of the two.
I think Evan actually got the horses correct.
The edition of Fellowship the book that I own actually has that.
Yeah, no, Evan guessed correctly, yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he did.
He did. I remember that. There was
He totally guessed it, but he did.
I remember it took me a second longer than it should have, but I did get it. It's like, oh God, what is it? Oh my God, horses. Duh.
In the chat, Jonathan Peck brings up a fun fact. Aragorn was almost cast by Daniel Day-Lewis, Nicolas Cage, and Vin Diesel.
Oh my God.
Daniel Day, I could see.
No.
No.
Daniel Day would not have worked because Daniel doesn't really do that much physical. I mean, yes, granted, Last of the Mohicans, he did a lot of physical stuff. Gangs of New York, he did a good chunk, but he hasn't really been known to do a lot of.
I mean, this was filmed in like what, 98?
99.
Yeah, 98, 99.
So I mean,
around that time.
Going with Viggo was smart. He was an actor. He'd been in things before, but most people didn't know who he was. And this is an example of going with unknowns means you're not bringing any preconceived, notions about the actors to any of these roles. That's actually maybe why Liv Tyler bugs some people, because she was a known thing.
Yeah,
versus
Armageddon.
most of the rest of these.
Armageddon, Empire
Yeah.
Records, that thing you do.
The music videos that she was in when music videos were like a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
That's an understatement.
In case, I'm sorry I talked over the October the 24th at 10 o'clock in the morning.
His favorite line.
No, it's not my favorite line. I just like it because it's such an obscure trivia fact that I like to one day ask a question about that.
So another piece of just weird trivia. James Horner was originally
Roll
meant to do
credit.
the score.
Oh wait,
No.
no,
James-
we just had a roll credits moment.
We did.
Let him finish.
Let him finish.
So James Horner was actually meant to do the score for this movie, but he was contracted for A Beautiful Mind, and that's why Howard Shore was hired. because a Ron Howard movie is the reason Howard Shore did the score for this movie or for this series.
I'm
So,
glad too, though,
Ron Howard,
because Horner's
thank you.
score for Beautiful Mind is beautiful.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, I can't believe I just said that. But it worked out in both movies. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
God, that's
Yes.
stunning.
Oh.
This really is one of those movies where, like, 5 years from now, you look back and see the people who could have been cast, and you're kind of like, wow, they turned that down. Like, Liam Neeson was cast as Boromir, and he turned it down.
I am so happy he turned that down, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, there's
Yeah.
just things like that where you look back and you're like, Billy Crystal was originally Buzz Lightyear. Like, he was the choice. He was 100%. We wanted him as Buzz Lightyear, and he turned it down. And that's why he accepted Mike like that.
Yeah.
Useless bit of trivia that I know.
Well, to be fair, they had to do something to keep Tim Allen's career going for a little bit yet.
So this is the part where if I could live anywhere in Middle Earth, it would be Rivendell.
The mix between models and matte painting is great.
It's just
So atmospheric.
Mm.
And then the slow motion of them all hugging is like something out of
Oh,
Armageddon.
geez, I see.
This is where Roka would be rolling his eyes.
Yeah.
What? What?
Oh, you
Why?
don't know. Because he did the Hobbits. It's all about that. He's going to kill me for
No, but seriously, what
This
is
is what
wrong
he gets
with
for
him?
not liking them. Yes, no. He thinks
my
that, yeah, no.
God.
He doesn't buy into it.
His loss.
Yeah,
Exactly.
his loss.
His
Yeah.
loss indeed. I mean, look, and he could have been on this panel with us and watching the movie with us, but you know, okay. No, I see how it is, John. I see how it is. Oh man. Yes, Robert. The full journey starts in October of. Oh God. I'm trying to remember the exact year. It's like
14 something.
something like that. But yeah, but then it does end in 14 months after the initial
Yeah.
quest begins.
Because Bilbo is visibly older and
Yeah.
frail. Yeah.
But that's also the effect of no longer having
That's
the
the
ring.
ring.
He ages
Yeah,
much
the ring
more
is
quickly.
what.
That's right.
I saw Fellowship over 10 times in the theaters. And after I went the first few times, right around here is where I would take my bathroom break. I had it timed. I was like, okay, right after they get to Rivendell, after he talks to Bilbo, okay, run. And then get back before
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of have to. Every single time I watch a 3-hour movie in theaters, it's like, okay, yeah, somewhere halfway you need to figure out a moment that you take a bathroom break and then you're good to go.
All right, guys, we are at the 90-minute point, so 1 hour and 30 minutes in 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 hour and 30 minutes. We have 45 minutes and 30 seconds left before we have to swap discs.
Wait, no. There's less. It's like
15 minutes
Yeah.
I was
and 30
thinking.
seconds. Oh, did I say
Yeah, that makes
45?
more
Oh,
sense.
sorry.
You said
Yeah,
45.
15,
Yeah.
yeah,
What extended edition
15
are you
minutes.
watching?
It's an hour
Yeah,
45.
no.
It's like, is this like do the Hobbit scenes mixed in with this or what?
Jacob,
Well,
Well, they
and
just
Matt.
put the entire meeting from the book in here.
Robert, Isildur's time is 34 of the second age. This is different.
Yeah, we're in the end of the third age is when Lord of the Rings takes place.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this third age. You're 34 of the second age. We had that early in this movie
Mhm.
when Gandalf is in Minas Tirith reading through the books.
Yeah.
There he is.
Mm.
Boromir.
Some people consider him the best character.
I wish I'm going to say this because I'm not going to be on the Two Towers commentary. I wish they would have kept that scene in with him and Denethor and Faramir. I mean, I guess I know why they cut it, but that added scene is so good.
It is really good.
But you at least get the idea of it in the later movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that they probably felt there was already so many characters being introduced in this movie that if you introduced Denethor and Faramir too,
Yeah,
it might have been a lot for like people that weren't book readers. It's already a lot.
yeah.
And there's John
I guess I'm
Davies
glad they
as-
put it back in because
Yes.
it's so good.
So this is just another amazing bit of casting. He was never offered it, but he wanted it. Bruce Willis wanted to play Boromir.
No, thank you.
Nope.
Thank you, Peter Jackson.
Welcome to the party, pal.
See, no, my only objection to that would be seeing Bruce Willis with hair. That's literally my only objection.
And you would have another movie. Well, this would make Matt Kearns happy. Another movie with Bruce Willis and Liv Tyler.
The thing with Boromir is that so many people who would read the books, but like only once would come out and say, "Oh, Boromir's a bad guy," and you're like, you're missing the entire point. Is he's actually one of the single most heroic characters, but it's proof of the power of the ring, and that in fact in the end he was able to overcome it. So it's so beautiful and tragic, and Sean Bean just. Here we go again. I can't imagine anybody else doing it. And like part of me wants to say he's the best casting choice because he made sure to find the humanity and the heroism in that character.
Yeah, my issue with Boromir, and if you watch the theatrical versions, he just seems like a dick. And there is not much depth to his character because you don't really get a whole lot of backstory to him. In the extended versions, he is great. And you suddenly get all the backstory that I just didn't get in the theatrical. And that is why the extended version is just so much better. And I will say that more than once during these watch-alongs.
Mm-hmm.
Boromir and Narsil.
Does Boromir die the same way in the book that early?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the reason I started watching Game of Thrones. That because I saw
He's a lot of people did.
I wasn't familiar with the books or anything like that, and I saw he was cast, and I love Lord of the Rings, fantasy stuff, and it's like, oh, Sean Bean's the main character, you know, and I'm gonna.
And
give
of
it a
course he
shot.
dies.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
Oh.
Spoilers to one of the most famous spoilers of all time. It's like the end of.
True enough.
But
It was 7 years
6
ago. Longer if you're a book reader.
I remember my dad. The first episode he ever saw Game of Thrones was that episode, and I was like, "No, you did it wrong. You did it wrong."
Dad, you screwed up.
But now he got started late. He was just kind of like it was on HBO. So like, I'll watch it, and then Found out he watched that one first.
Didn't your mother ever teach you to clean up after yourself?
Oh God, Chris, that was bad.
Cricket game is again really on point.
It's a massive sword.
Yeah.
Like both hands around the pommel like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, trust me, I've actually gotten to hold a replica of, like, someone actually made a exact, like, as close to exact replica to on Dural as you could get, and oh my God, that thing is huge.
Yeah, we own a replica of it, and it's like as tall as me. Not as tall as me, but it's pretty damn tall.
Jonathan Peck, we just finished our first sees Narsil and meets Aragorn, and we're now watching a scene between Aragorn and Arwen. And we're almost at the meeting of the council, so we're almost at the second disc.
I love that they all got to keep their like hero weapons after
Yeah.
actual.
Yeah, in my family, my sister owns Gimli's axe. I have Sting. My dad has Saruman's staff. Yeah. But when they started selling the stuff out of Weta Workshop, my family pretty much, bought everything.
That's fair.
Gimli's axe is a big get.
It's really cool looking.
How much does that cost?
I don't know, and
You're not cheap.
No, yeah, I will say that much. I'll say that for the Christmas, our Christmas gifts to each other for the next several years were pretty much planned out.
So it wasn't like 2 cents. Okay.
Oh no, like a couple $100. Like they are not cheap.
Hey, my shirt. Yeah, for people who haven't noticed, this is my shirt, and it's just great.
Ooh.
It's the necklace.
Evan Star.
This is from the appendices from the book, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's what I.
My God, they have such cute chemistry together. It's almost sickening how cute their chemistry is.
And here it comes.
Here we go.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw this scene parodied with Jack Black, the awards, I just about got rage filled. I'm like, how dare you put the ring on your you-know-what, Jack Black?
What is that? A Prince Charles?
A Prince Albert.
Prince Albert.
About to get introduced to the best character.
The things that I learned from Lord of the Rings. It's not one of the ones I thought I would learn from Lord of the Rings.
And pretty much the birth of a meme coming up.
Yep.
And it was used incorrectly so many times too.
Oh yeah.
Just it's not the line.
No, I know. Yeah.
The moment that he
Manning, why? Oh
my gosh, Manning.
No. Oh boy.
I'm not gonna look.
This is also extended.
Yeah,
Thank you, Russ.
Yeah, this isn't in the
black speech stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, this is new.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pardon, Master.
So together, evil.
I love the little Gondor theme here behind him.
Mm-hmm.
This scene was a hell of a scene to write for them.
Well, because it's even more complicated in the book. There's a lot more characters involved, and they had to figure out who needed to be there and what needed to be said.
Gosh, I love that the Gondor theme is so
It's
good.
so pretty.
Yeah.
Every theme is perfect in this. It's
He's out of going.
now this is Orlando Bloom's first movie. Straight out of film school, I think.
Yeah, hey, he looks so much younger than he did in the previous movie. What happened? So it's almost as the previous movie we watched, he was older. That's weird. Sorry.
As in, wait, older than he actually played his father?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
It's better than somebody else playing him, and it was fun.
He still looks pretty young.
He was young. They all were. It's crazy.
I mean, he looks so young in this movie. No,
Hugo Weaving looks younger, and it's just
Yeah, but let's wait till after Gimli destroys an axe before telling him, oh, it's got to be burned in the mountain.
No, but it's a good moment.
Yeah, to demonstrate.
It's a great introduction to him, though. Yeah.
No,
Gives
I
the
mean,
best.
Show the power of the ring.
I know it's a good moment, but it's just come on, guys, a little bit of common sense.
Yeah, and that axe could have killed someone.
Oh, you're nitpicks.
Well, it also establishes Gimli being the comic relief character.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh boy, Manning, I cannot wait for that meme. I mean, Rasika.
Oh no. Hey Larissa, how's it going? Thanks for joining us on this lovely evening to watch.
I love this. The silence here. One of you must do this. Oh, anyone? Anyone?
Hey, there's the line.
There it is.
And where's the meme? And there's the meme. And therefore I hate the meme because it's not the same thing.
Oh well, it's fine.
Yeah, it's my OCD kicking in. I know.
Yep. Well, wait a minute. Now, where is this racism coming from?
Well, if you saw the previous 3 movies. Oh, wait. Sorry.
Actually, even the previous movies, there's still no resolution there.
No.
Well, with it's a good bookend because with Gimli and Legolas happen later on. It's heartwarming, especially at Helm's Deep with the. He's too short to see over the guardrail.
I like their contest. Who kills me?
Yeah. Still only costs us 1.
Oh yeah.
I love Gandalf's reaction. Gandalf,
way,
like,
Yeah,
just
his heartbreaking.
heartbreaking.
He knows. Yeah.
He's the only one who really understands what that will cost Frodo.
Although, I don't know the way.
Although.
I do not.
The bravery of a hobbit.
I want to say to everyone who thinks that this is the first theatrical release movie with Orlando Bloom, when was Black Hawk Down released?
2000.
He was an extra in Black Hawk Down.
Oh yeah.
It's more than an extra, right? He actually had lines.
He did. He had a couple lines. I think did
He has a
Tiger-
small
Well, he did, but he filmed this before he filmed that.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
this was his
that's-
first movie that he said that he says that in the special features. So
Because remember, this movie took like a year to shoot.
yeah,
So
they were
yeah.
shooting in 98, 99.
Well, they shot all 3 at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, the Hobbit's coming out of hiding.
You are not.
You are not.
Again, Elrond, resting bitch face. Beautiful.
It's like
This music is amazing, though.
Oh my god, I think it's one of my favorites.
quest
Thing.
It's like Knight companion. This is when you, I have a poster of that
of
shot.
the Ring.
That's a really good
credits.
composite for that
Where
time.
are we going?
One of those moments when saying the movie title of
This
the
is
movie
the
actually works.
changeover, so everyone, this is where the video changes.
Yay, change.
Yeah,
I
my
actually have
DVD
the
is
scene right
done.
in front of me, but that's just
So
me.
if you haven't paused your video yet, you'll be at 1:45, about 37.
But yeah, 1:45
code.
and 30 seconds. So guys, we're just going to do a quick changeover for everyone. But we're halfway through. This is going really well. What we're gonna do now is plug. Please donate if you are able to. I've got the link, correct link, because apparently it wasn't right. Sorry, guys. I have the correct link in the chat now. If you can donate, please donate as much as possible. We are trying to. We made our target before we even started, which was $500, and I am just over the moon that we were able to make that. But we want to make $1,000 now. So if we are able to get to $1,000 by the end of this charity event, I will be over the moon and so proud of our community and just so happy with everyone here. So guys, if you are able to, please donate what you can. But so we are an hour and 45 minutes in.
Yeah, I have 1 hour, 45 and 38 seconds.
I'm at
Yeah.
000 on disc 2.
Oh, get out of here, Chris. The digital copy is about 1:45:37 at the changeover.
37. I've got 37 at
Yep.
changeover. But yeah, so we'll just have about a 5-minute break. We'll just talk for 5 minutes and then we will get ready
bathroom
for
break
hit
for me.
play. So yeah, if you go bathroom, you do whatever, just yeah. But no, I'm really loving this movie. Like again, this is great fun. I'm loving being able to just talk and hang out and do all this.
It's a success, man. It's great.
Yeah, this has been fantastic, and I'm so excited for our next one, which will be somewhere far, far away.
When are we doing that? Oh, I can't. You can't say, can you?
Soon, possibly in November.
My dog
Maybe
just
December. Maybe?
coughed on my hand. That was lovely.
Yes.
If you guys didn't notice, my dog joined us because she wanted to play. And then I threw the ball and she never brought it back. So now we played fetch for about 15 minutes in the video actually, and then she just never brought the ball back. She won't leave me alone. So she's joining us for the rest of the video probably.
Oh, that's good. Doggy.
Yeah, we got the cuteness factor going.
She's another member of our fellowship. Awesome.
She can substitute as Build a Pony. She'd be a good Build a Pony.
Are we still live? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
We're
of
just-
course
we're
we are
just-
live.
Hi, guys.
Chatting.
I thought we were
If
gonna
there's
still
anyone in the
chatting.
chat that has any questions or anything, now would be a
Yeah.
great time to.
Feel free to ask, and we will get them to you as soon as possible.
Oh, and
Wait,
by the way, right after we start again, just a couple of scenes after we start again, one of my favorite moments in Lord of the Rings, with some of the best music. And
Yes, I saw sharing of pets.
Yes, Robert Parker, that is a corgi. She's my dog. Her name is Freya. Rachel has a cat.
Her name is Mithril. So if you needed another example of the fact that I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, there you go.
Nice,
Say
I
hi,
love it.
nice.
because she's all silver, and she wants down. So
We thought about a Lord of the Rings inspired name for mine, but none of them kind of fit her personality. So we went Norse, which was as close to Lord of the Rings as
Freya is the name of the Ice Queen in the Huntsman Winter War, and
Well.
it was a movie that sucked.
Well, she was alive
and yes.
before that movie came out. She's a Norse goddess.
Oh, and now
She was
Jacob has a dog.
also a character in Final Fantasy that I wasn't aware of until my husband told me after we named her.
Who's that? Is you pet sharing? I don't.
Yeah, I have pets at my parents'. not here.
Pet sharing hour.
For
Anyone
some
else
reason,
have
this is
any
what we're
pets?
doing.
Is there anyone who has any questions for our pets in the chat?
Woof.
Come on, guys. We have two Schmodown competitors here. Let's actually ask some questions. Well, we have a Schmodown competitor and the one who writes the questions. I mean, sorry.
Yeah,
what is
seriously.
Malcolm asks, what is your favorite movie featuring a cast member from Lord of the Rings that is not Lord of the Rings?
Ooh.
Oh man.
Wow.
V for
all right.
Vendetta.
V for Vendetta.
Oh, that's a good
Oh,
one.
V for Vendetta is a really good one.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a good one.
Good one. History of Violence is good.
I
History
would-
of Violence. Oof.
Yes. Okay. Clark kind of already stole mine, but mine would be Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like it would be,
Oh,
it'd
right,
be
of
the
course.
other one.
I'm a sucker for Rudy
Very
too, so
dangerous.
I don't care what anybody says. But I like
I'm just thinking, like, Christopher Lee is a prequel actor, not in the original trilogy, so.
The Clone Wars movie.
No, Clark, no.
Captain Fantastic was one of the most underrated movies of last year.
No, it's not. Captain Fantastic was not good at all.
He's back. He
He's
is
back.
back.
Oh boy.
That was a fantastic movie. You can go away again.
I got one. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh,
good one.
Oh right,
Yes.
Elijah Wood. Yeah. Cool.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, we have
okay.
a question from Robert.
Oh yeah.
Chris.
Hey, Rosika, V for Vendetta. That's good
Okay,
times,
but we
right?
have a question from Robert.
All right, for a question for Robert. Chris, what has been your favorite match to write for?
Yeah, I want to know this too.
That's. I mean, I don't really write for a specific match. We write for all matches. So I mean, the only thing we write specifically for a match is round 1, and then round 2s and 3s. I mean, it's just whatever we have. Like I could write something today. If it lands on the wheel, if it like for action adventure, I could write questions for that today. If it lands on the wheel this week, it would be those questions. If no one gets action adventure for 2 months, then those were the questions that would come up. So, I mean, geekdom are fun because I mean that's my wheelhouse. So like though a lot of those, you know, I just know I don't have to do a lot of research on those. Everything else is, you know, I either know it or I have to kind of dig into IMDb, Wikipedia, and put in a DVD to fill out. So I would say the geekdom matches are the more fun for me to write.
Okay, and Rachel, what has been your favorite match to compete in?
It's hard not to say my match against Kalinowski because Inner Geekdom is, you know, like it's my league. This is the one that I actually think like I'm going for that belt. But it's, I mean, I owe Ken so much, and playing with him has been just such a joy. And our match against Team Action is probably the one that will probably forever be known for, and was just like a great showcase for all 4 players, I think. So.
All right. Well, let's just start the movie again. We'll go from we're all back. We'll go live in just hit play. Now, has everyone got their screen to 00, like the black screen with the logo? Or because I think that's where we had the issue before. Or are you guys hitting press play movie, Rachel and Chris?
The second disc starts with an exterior shot right away for me.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. There's no fade to black or anything. It just starts right away with
Is that everybody with a disc?
getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
So we might be a little ahead of you guys.
I'm right on zeros, and it just, you know,
Wait,
It's
they're
just-
ready to leave? I think this is
Well,
the
there's a
scene
scene
between
where he
Frodo and
goes.
Bilbo.
He talks to
Yeah,
Bilbo
that's
He's
what
gonna
first.
get
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
sting.
Yeah,
There's also
That's
the
where
scene
we're at.
in front of those
On the
statues.
second disc, it's an exterior shot of
Rivendell.
Rivendell. Yeah.
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 It's all
All right,
decoration, I
now
believe.
the digital time code is 1 hour 45 and 37 seconds.
Yep.
So make sure you guys are timed up to that. However, let's all go. We will click play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play.
Play. Okay. I'll say the time codes for the DVD because it might be a little different.
That's good.
Too easy.
Yep.
Legolas just started walking down, and now they're
I'm at
Mhm.
12 seconds.
Beautiful.
cool.
Yep, 13. Yep, 14. Yep. Good.
And this is his
This is an
mother's
extra.
grave.
Yeah, Gilraine. It's an extra scene.
Rachel, Jonathan Peck in the chat asks, what Lord of the Rings cast member do you want to play against?
Oh, geez. Who would be good at film trivia? I feel like Elijah Wood would be.
Elijah would
He's
be.
been on movie fights a couple times.
Yeah.
He's good at movie fights. I don't
Yeah,
know
he's
about
great.
trivia wise, but I think he knows more about music than he knows about
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
In theory, if you're speaking crew, you could play Robert Burnett.
I would be.
He was only but he has cast member.
Yeah. Well, crew. He did the DVD.
I could be using it as an excuse as to who I'd want to meet, which it clearly means Kate Blanchett.
Oh, actually, you know who you could play is Stephen Colbert because he is
Oh
a
my God,
cast
I would
member from The Hobbit.
die to meet him. He is the biggest Lord of the Rings fan I've ever seen on anything. That would be perfect.
That would be cool.
Absolutely. That would be an intense match. I would love to watch that.
I would say one of my favorite bits on his show back when he was on Comedy Central was every time he would school James Franco on Lord of the Rings. I mean, and Franco almost held his own each time, but
yeah,
no, Steven would shit us.
Yeah. I've actually met.
Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, Chris.
No.
I met Elijah Wood and Sean Austin a couple years ago at Comic-Con. Went down there to go to Nerd HQ, and there was a Elijah Wood panel. Got to see him, got a picture, and then the first day I was there, I was out walking around early before anyone was out, and there was a crowd of people just kind of milling around someone as they're walking across the sidewalk. I was like, "That's got to be somebody," and it was Sean Astin. He was there to promote Ninja Turtles, and he kind of peeled off down the.
Who was that?
Who jumped up?
Was that Chris Clark?
It had to be Chris Clark.
That was
It had to be
Chris Clark.
Wow.
That is still a fantastic moment, though.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Rachel, there's a question here that I'm actually very curious about. Did you ever finish Hannibal? Last update I got.
Oh, that's Rasika, right? That was Rasika, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, I know. He's been yelling at me for years at this point to finish watching
I've been in
Hannibal.
season 3. I haven't
Brassica.
seen the last season.
I've seen the first 2. I still have not seen season 3. I'm studying for a thing called the Schmodown now, which means I don't have much time for television.
Go Brassica. The Annibals.
Yeah, I haven't watched I've seen the first 2 episodes of season 3. I haven't seen anything else on that either.
The Red Dragon storyline in season 3 is so well done. The beginning of season 3 is just kind of like meh, but the Red Dragon thing is just really good.
I've seen the first 2 seasons twice, and then I bought them all on sale like a while back, and I never got through season 3. Probably just because I was busy. But
See, I've seen season 1 and I've never gone back just because of busyness. Like I've never gone to it.
I think I've rewatched them all like 3 or 4 times.
All right, one of the best moments in this movie is about to come up,
oh,
and it's not the joke. It's after that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the joke is funny.
Left or right? Left.
Okay.
I make that joke to myself all the time. Is it left or right? Left. Yeah, this bit of music
montage?
coming up
Yeah.
is
The music
The
coming up.
fellowship music.
The
Yeah.
fellowship music. Yeah.
And
fellowship
I love
theme.
how it's just one of the slowest builds, but then it just keeps
Yeah.
going and going and going, and then when it finally hits, just
yeah. Up over the yeah. From here, yeah. But pardon me if it gets a little loud. I'm turning it up on my TV.
Fellowship theme or the Hobbit theme?
Fellowship theme.
Fellowship
Yeah.
theme for me.
Gosh, it's so. I'm getting chills. I love this music.
It's so good.
And the fact that it's all practical and they were there and they had to like get helicoptered out to these spots just for these shots.
Yeah.
And it's so worth it.
Hero shots.
Oh,
God.
And Sean Austin was controlling the helicopters or whatever because he was so scared.
And Sean Bean walked up the. He
walked.
didn't like the helicopter, so he had to walk up the mountain, climb the mountain.
That's so good.
These shots are
That's just such a good moment.
what you did.
2, 1, 5. I always see that shot of food. I'm like, conserve your rations. Come on. Just
They're hobbits. They don't know how to conserve rations.
I always thought this scene went a long way to help with Boromir in terms of like, you know, that he's helping them and training with them, and then when they like rush him and he laughs, like there's a camaraderie in that scene that's great. First mention of Moria. That's what you think.
Yeah, you will.
Poor John Rhys Davies had to endure so much with that makeup.
Oh yeah.
He had an allergic reaction around his eyes.
It's just cute and fun. Even Aragorn laughs.
But like, but even like you think, oh.
And there's an apple in the scene.
Yeah.
There's a big joke of the apples showing up. In
Yes,
places.
Robert. Crabbound from Dunland.
So
I've been waiting for that question, Chris Skalicky. I'm like, it'd be like, where are the crabine? Where are the birds from? Dunland. Thank you.
Oh, don't worry. These are all stored deep in my mind.
I know. And there's not a single one you can ask that I won't get.
Yeah.
The issue is
Rachel.
you can't go too deep cut.
Even with the geekdom, I have to be like careful because I'm like.
There's
But
so we did a Lord of the Rings match in promotion to help promote this.
I watched.
And Robert Parker scared me.
Yep.
That was
He was
scary.
Oh, by the way, I would have qualified for that if I would have been able to do that. I watched the qualifying match. I would have made it
What
in.
did you get? How many did you get?
I got 5 out of 6.
Oh,
But I
A
was
missed opportunity.
not eligible,
sadly.
unfortunately.
I mean,
So,
But
although,
it was fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, plus, Chris, we did have you on for the Team Disney match with
Yes.
with Paul and
Yep, that was a lot of fun.
Rotten Tomatoes. What?
The only
No.
then I scored myself on on the main match too, and I would not have picked
Pickin'.
Bacon.
Desolation. I wouldn't have picked the Hobbit movies for my spinner's choice, so that one kind of got me a little bit, but
He's the Hobbit. What can you
I
say?
would have picked
Lord of the Rings.
I would have picked one of the 3 Fellowship movies if I'd have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was sitting there during the qualifying rounds, and I was like, "No, it's this." Like, you're wrong. I can't remember which one I missed. I think the only one I missed on that was
The
guy who
Oscar?
played Hal. I'm trying to remember all the maybe the Oscar one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Awarded.
Oscar?
A lot of
Battle
people
of
lost
the
that
Five
one.
Armies.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just a mean question. I know.
I mean,
just like to have
I-
those
I got-
questions.
the
I
Oscar
got that
awards
one, I
ones for like
guess.
technical stuff I probably wouldn't have gotten, but
Yeah.
and then another one I didn't know was the actor who played Hal Deer. I didn't know his name.
Come on.
So just Blockbuster Bill in the chat does ask something for Rachel that considering she has probably one of the best entrances in the Schmodown. Rachel, what is your favorite entrance?
Oh,
so
jeez.
far?
Well, I'll give credit where credit is due. I had a lot of help with that entrance. I had the idea, but I didn't know if I could pull it off. So Brianne and Stacy helped me, and then Aaron did all those special effects and like blew my mind. Like I didn't even know he was going to be able to do as much as he did. So very proud of that, obviously. And I don't really know how I'm supposed to top it at this point. I sort of feel like, oh crap, now what do I do next? But I gotta say, the match didn't go their way, but 6 Degrees coming out for American Psycho killed me. I thought that was amazing. I loved that. I mean, they've done great ones before, but that to me was my favorite of theirs.
Very true.
I love the little added detail here with Legolas being able to walk on top of the snow.
Yeah.
It's not commented on. It's just a thing.
It's just that, yeah.
It's just to show that, you know.
He's Jesus.
But I just also, and I love the fact that that it's something that they would have had to, you know, plan and organize and find a way to work around, and they still did it. Like it wouldn't have been an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, have everyone else be able to fall, but him not. It just,
It's attention to detail. That's great.
Yeah.
And they would have died, but that's all cool.
It's a fantasy movie. You gotta suspend a little disbelief.
Gandalf cast a shield spell or something.
Something like
He's
that.
like Green Lantern or something.
You got to do something bad enough to make them turn around and go take the Mines of Moria, because only idiots do that. Or desperate people. Nope.
Hearing them talk about filming in this stuff just sounds awful.
The fake snow. Yeah.
Yeah.
The fake snow and how hot it actually was, and like, just, yeah.
Those mines.
Shadow and flame.
It's such great foreshadowing. Like if you don't know what's coming and you're just like, oh crap, I don't want them to do whatever it is they're about to do.
And you can tell Gandalf knows that he's probably not going to make it out of
Oh,
that.
absolutely. Like if there's any chance of them surviving, he knows it's going to be because he has to deal with
Like,
that.
upon rewatching this, I'm like, go for the Gap of Ron, and it's like, oh, damn it, he chose for Moria again.
Oh, Frodo, you fool.
Fool of a... Oh, no. Oh, wait.
It's such and it is kind of like, why would you put that on Frodo's shoulders?
I mean,
who
his
doesn't know?
mother
He's
was
never
a
been in
monk, so-
either place. That's tough.
Yeah, let the one person who has never been outside of the Shire choose where we need to go, instead of someone who actually knows both places. Yeah.
Yeah, you can almost say that fool of a Took line for him because his mother was a Took, so
Yeah,
That's
he's
true.
related.
you're like halfway there.
However, the mines are so big, there is a slim chance that they could have gotten through without running into the Balrog. Maybe. Going through Rohan, you don't know what you're going to...
And Chris just blew my mind. That's true.
Well, I mean, hell, and they if they had navigated carefully enough, they probably even could have avoided the goblins.
Freaking
Possibly.
Pippin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Pippin.
Oh, you Pippin.
Just keep me so excited.
Oh, he looks so happy.
And that is again it. Okay, so that's just something I've just noticed about the difference between Lord of the Rings and Hobbits. In Lord of the Rings, he says they're invisible to unless like they're invisible dwarven walls. Whereas in the Hobbit, they don't actually say it because they assume you've seen this one. It's just yeah.
Mhm.
Prequels.
Dangerous.
I'm
Very
not a
dangerous.
fan of prequels. I'm not a fan of prequels.
Here comes the giant octopus.
The Watcher.
I like they did really that was really cool because in the books it's like a tentacle or two. You don't ever have
It's not an
what
actual
it
kraken.
is. Well, they know that it's like something under there, but it's they make a moment out of it in the movie versus the book, which is it's a good idea and just a place to do something really cool.
It's an action set piece that you need. Yeah.
Yeah. The
So
wrong person
literally
gets
the only reason I would want Liam Neeson in this movie is for him to say release the Kraken. Oh,
gosh.
that's bad. I know.
You should feel
It's
ashamed
bad.
of yourself.
Oh,
Okay.
Bill.
Okay, I've been holding myself.
Oh,
back
wait.
this whole-
Yeah, who got that question wrong in the Schmodown?
It was
Bill.
it was the 5-way with Mike Kalinowski. I know that Emma got it, but most of them didn't. But the best part of that whole thing was Mark Ellis dying laughing, going, "Who would know this?" And like two.
And like I'm just like raising my
That
hand.
was
Like,
great.
I
They're
know
going, "I
it."
do."
The action was amazing.
Evan, what were you saying?
Erica and Emma that got it right.
Yeah, they both did.
Okay, I've been holding myself back for a while. But Rachel, what do you think? How do you think the Patriots' chances are this season without Edelman?
Oh, I don't want to talk about it. It's just that's why I hate preseason. Preseason sucks. They shouldn't have it. Stupid stuff happens in preseason.
We're
Yeah,
actually,
I hate
talking
preseason.
about the Patriots that actually matter.
Oh.
Excuse me. Okay, Evan, we were good, and now we're not again. Oh, wow. All right, moving on.
Well, to be fair, when you're young and impulsive and a little bit rash like him,
You do stupid things. Yes. I know.
Exactly. It's hard for you. It's hard for him to control his tongue.
Mm.
Oh, look, he's the hound. Throwing stuff when
Yes.
he shouldn't throw stuff.
He gets to be the hound again.
No, guys, spoilers for...
Right, whatever.
Kevin DeGraff. Hashtag thank you, Rassica. Kevin DeGraff. Indeed.
Kevin DeGraff.
That's my favorite thing from the other day.
Thank you, Snelling. We love you.
No, that was Williams. That wasn't Snelling. That was
was
Williams.
Jay,
That
that's
was
right.
Yeah, William. Yeah, Jay did that. That was like one of my favorite things.
See, Frodo figures out the riddle in the movie, but it's Mary who does in the book.
Yep.
It's one of those questions I keep waiting to trip me up in the Schmodown that I'll
Yep.
answer the book answer, Harry Potter too. Like
Yep.
I'll answer the
Yeah.
wrong.
I actually
then
think
from
I
the
had a
books and the movies.
version of this question somewhere before, but it got edited. Someone changed it around in the after I set it in, but I don't.
Yeah, sorry, Gimli. I'm not a fan of malt beer. Giving it a fair shot. It's not my
If
thing.
you look close to at the tentacles on the Watcher, they're at the end. They're like little hands that are like
Little fingers, yeah.
trying to pick.
Really going for the ring, like getting into his pockets and stuff.
They went
Yeah.
hardcore on designing that thing too.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe that this
Like the
movie's
whole
still-
mouth coming out, the way it like
Mhm.
unfolds. Yeah.
Back
Gimli's
in the
family
day,
is dead.
My online Lord of the Rings community, we nicknamed him like Francois or something. He had a whole backstory,
Goblins.
like a family. That was great. Anyway, I thought it was funny.
Capron.
Thanks for
Come
that.
here.
So how long have they been dead?
So what, like 50, 60 years have passed between Hobbit and here. Balin's
Yeah.
colony in Moria survived for 10 plus years. So
It just look like they've been decaying for like decades.
yeah, I mean, it could be a couple of
Yeah.
decades anyway.
But it seems like he was close with them. So it'd be odd that he hasn't seen them in that long. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And hello, ugly.
Mhm.
This is great CGI for 2000 and
It
one.
is.
Yeah.
For the time, yeah, it is.
That mouth is.
I mean, now it does look a tad bit ridiculous, but it still works.
It's better than the Quidditch
It's
match.
better than the Quidditch stuff in Harry Potter Philosopher's Stone.
Actually, oh crap! It's better than the Force Awakens alien-looking thing. Whenever they're
Oh, the
going after,
Rathars?
yeah.
Yeah, it's better than the Rathars, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue on that one.
Nope.
I wish the giant squid returned at some point during Return of the King to fight Shelob. That would have been cool.
That is such a
say-
fan service thing.
Clark, sometimes I worry for you. You know I love you, but sometimes I worry for you.
It'd be cool to get like a kaiju movie in the middle of Lord of the Rings.
Jeez.
Well, you know what? Actually, okay. You know what? Speaking of like fan service / fan art, fan fiction kind of
Oh
stuff.
god.
Oh yeah, nice segue.
Shush, 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 shush. I'm asking a legit question here. Rachel, if you could, like, you know, if you could pick any part of the appendices or whatever to have a film expanded on, what would you pick?
Within the Lord of the Rings universe?
Yeah.
Most of the elven stories from the First Age have always been my favorite. So actually, like the story of Elrond and his twin brother, and how Elrond chose to be an elf and his brother chose to be a man and founded the colony of Numenor, and that whole era just after they took down Morgoth would probably be my favorite section.
Is that in the Silmarillion?
Yes, that is in the Silmarillion. Skalicky, what about you?
Oh gosh, I'm not as. I mean, I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, but I don't know all the supplemental stories like Rachel does.
Fair enough.
So I wouldn't be able to accurately answer that question.
Well, and to be fair, I'm actually only asking because my answer actually already happened. There was a really great fan film done about Aragorn's upbringing. You know, his grandfather and his father Arathorn, and how unfortunately, you know, he died. I'm trying to remember the name of the fan film though. Born of Hope. There we go. It's only about an hour and a half, guys. If you love the Lord of the Rings stuff, check that fan film out. It's fantastic.
I mean, one thing I'm kind of aware of, that I don't know if there's how much material there would be to really dive in, but like the stuff of like the Angmar and like the Gondolin and all like the Northern Kingdoms and all that stuff. Like what little I know about that, I've found interesting, but there may not be enough there to really make it interesting in a movie. I don't know.
If they did Gondolin, then we could have Glorfindel back, which, again, reason why I love his character so much, but he's such a bit player in the books and non-existent in the movies.
Still, it'd be a cool way to bring him back, though.
I have no memory of this place.
Uh-oh. Chance for everybody to sit down and have little conversations. And for our first peek, well, not first, but another peek at
Gollum.
They still hadn't quite figured out his design at this point.
No, yeah, you can tell it's not quite what they did in Two Towers.
Wasn't it also they didn't have the technology yet? Like it was, they hadn't quite perfected it yet, so they weren't.
Yeah, they were creating it as they were going. Yeah.
Was it still Andy Serkis's grunts?
I would think so.
Because I think it was kind of late in the game when they kind of decided to make it look like him a little bit. They didn't really. They took his, facial structure and
his
even
eyes
there
are
you
different.
can tell it's
his eyes are different. Yeah, but it's enough to where it's not jarring.
Right, and we're just getting a glimpse. It's too shadowy. It's not going to be. They knew it wouldn't be a problem because they were still figuring out the design. They had another year to work on it.
You knew he was bald. He was skinny. That's all they needed. Yep.
And this is like the quintessential scene from the series.
Mm-hmm. Shit, I almost missed this great scene. Which, this scene is amazing.
Yeah.
And this is why Ian McKellen is Gandalf.
Yeah.
Nobody else could deliver it like this.
And this is why Ian McKellen was the only actor to earn a nomination.
Damn you, Jacob! I was just about to say that.
I was thinking it too.
Unlucky.
You're talking to the Oscar guy. That is my category.
How many categories do you
won
have,
that
Jacob?
year?
I'm
Oscars?
box office, Oscars, and that's
Movie
release
release
dates.
dates.
Movie release
They're my
dates?
three. Everything that's got absolutely nothing to do with the movie.
I was just going to say, all three I've heard people argue don't belong in the trivia showdown.
Everyone is like, it has nothing to do with the movie.
Well, to be fair, everybody argues.
just wants to complain.
The MTS, everyone.
Yeah, go ahead, Jacob.
Blockbuster Bill, we did already talk about Sean Connery as Gandalf. And yeah.
And can we just not continue to? Because that was a terrible idea.
I know.
But I want to do my impression again.
Oh, shut up.
It wasn't. Oh no.
I also just realized I don't really want to bring up James Bond. But anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to.
That was an interesting experiment.
Actually, you know what? Speaking of Skalicky.
Oh God.
Just real quick.
Can of worms.
I'm only asking you because you're here.
Oh God.
like, did you have any input on that decision, or was that purely just the commish and Ellis?
What decision?
We all talked about it. I mean, over the past however many since Inner Geekdom started, and just the contest and Schmodown in general, that was one category that kept popping up in comments I would see. So we threw it out there to see, you know, and you guys know what happened. So I'll leave it at that.
It's not getting removed, is it?
Please, no.
Yeah.
Not at liberty to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Oh, cool.
All right. But hey, you know what? Thank you for answering the question. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we all talk about that type of stuff, and we see what people say in the comments on YouTube and Facebook, and we, you know, I want a Ninja Turtle category for Inner Geekdom, but that's not going to happen. So, of course, there's not many people can answer some of those, but
no, there should people.
We talk about it, yeah.
I don't think enough people actually took a step back and fully understood why it was the category. Like, I don't think people actually took a step back and understood why it was. Like, it took me a day to understand it. But I don't think enough people took a step back.
All right, just back to Lord of the Rings now. This scene is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, Gimli in this scene is amazing.
It's the last time you see Gandalf's hat.
It's also another example of the amazing music when they first walk into that main hall before they go to this side room. I mean, that's just on the big screen. I remember thinking they really made it look so majestic and massive, and the beautiful music behind it. And now the horror of this and the realization that Balin is dead, and it's heartbreaking for Gimli.
We cannot linger.
They are coming.
Poor Gimli.
Drums in the deep. It's so good.
Don't do it.
Get out.
They are coming. Oh, Pippin.
Freaking Pippin.
Oh, and by the way, now we have the Fool of a Took line.
This is so great.
And then the bucket on top of it.
Yeah.
Every time it hits something on the way down, he's just like, ooh, no, that's...
You're like, oh,
I still have
no.
the echo of how it, yeah.
Can't think that sound.
Yeah.
Isn't there one more sound?
No.
Okay. I always thought there was one last reaction shot.
No, there's the
Fool
goblins.
of a took.
You hear the goblins here in a second. You get that reaction.
The drums in the deep.
Yeah, the
as
drum.
they
Oh,
I
actually,
love
the
that.
drums
The music
first, yeah.
drops out, and then you hear the drums, and everybody's like, the
Oh,
anticipation.
shit.
Yeah.
The drums first.
Here we go.
Boom, 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 boom.
I remember watching this scene at theaters, and I just got so freaking jacked. I'm like,
Yep.
Yes.
oh god.
The music amps up and like, oh,
They have a
First,
control.
first huge battle scene.
And that's the thing, like some people's, they won't pick this as their favorite because compared to the other two movies, there isn't a ton of action.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me, but I get it.
It's a lot of character and it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, this action sequence is great. It's just that the next two movies top them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no argument on that. Yes, for sure.
And goodbye hat. There we go.
And as much as I love Fellowship for the character moments and the slower build-up and the fact that it starts it all and it does a perfect job at it, I still just prefer the next ones because of the action set pieces. That's just me.
Oh, I love how Gimli
Same with
stood
me.
up on that
Same with
thing.
me.
Probably the most ridiculous reason that I love Fellowship is because every time I finish that movie, there's still 2 left to go. I don't have to finish Return of the King and be like, dang it, there's nothing left.
Bill in the comments also brings up something that I think so awesome is I wish I could have seen this in theaters. And
Great experience.
Yeah,
I can't, single best of my life.
What sucks about living is every single time there's always been a screen, another screening of showing them all. It's normally in Sydney, which is, if you know anything about Australia, that's a 12-hour drive away. So, yeah, and getting down there is a bit of a drive and a bit of a long way away. And I would love to do it one day, but
yeah, if they ever put them on screen again, I'm gonna go. I remember seeing,
and the visual effects on the Cave Troll are just so good.
For my third time, they put it on IMAX, and this was before theatrical films were on IMAX, so it was just like a strip across the middle of the screen, but it was still IMAX sound and bigger than your normal. But that was, at the time, that was really cool.
I remember being when in 2009 and 2010 when the big 3D conversion phase was huge, and my biggest thing was I would like to see them do these simply because it would have given me the chance to see them back on the big screen. That was the only reason why I would have been okay if they did convert these into 3D.
I think I don't know what 3D would add to them, honestly.
It wouldn't add anything, but then I would be able to but it would,
sure,
there would have been funding to put them onto the big screen, and then I would have just gone and seen the 2D version.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I did with Titanic and everything else, and Jurassic Park and all that when they did that. I went and saw them in 2D.
No, my thing about this whole 2D versus 3D chat, I don't really care about 3D. I think it's fine. I sometimes enjoy 3D a bit more because it's just somewhat immersive. I think around 2012 is when I really enjoyed it, but they've gotten lazy with 3D and it hasn't added anything, if that makes sense. It's no longer become, it's 3D. It's like maybe one just off the screen.
Oh, by the way, you see Merry and Pippin in the background. They totally should have indicated that the Cave Troll was
coming.
Jerks, Merry and Pippin.
That was there.
Only reason I ever go see a 3D movie is if it's playing in IMAX, and that's the only showing in IMAX is because it's a 3D movie. I won't go
I always
otherwise.
laugh about the Cave Troll CGI in this is so much more convincing than The Hobbit.
I mean, shit, it's so much more convincing than in the first Harry Potter film.
Oh, yeah. And I also I want to say when they first showed Doomsday in the BVS trailer, everyone was saying, "Oh, it looks like the Cave Troll from Lord of the Rings," and this CGI looks better than Doomsday in BVS, and that movie is 15 years older than this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, just saying.
I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the better fake outs of someone not dying.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't know, if you've never read the books, you think he's dead.
I thought, he might be dead.
He'd have a big bruise on his chest from the impact, but that's about it.
Yeah. He might have broken a rib too, honestly.
Yeah.
There's probably a broken bone if we're realistic.
I love that Merry and Pippin just jump on the troll and they're all just have that adrenaline moment of you just killed my friend.
And there he goes.
Down.
Oh, and who delivered the final blow again? Oh, that was Legolas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all those memes and contests, who's the best archer, Hawkeye or Katniss, or I'm like, screw you people. Legolas kill their asses every time.
Yeah.
And you see it in the next scene when they're on the stairwell. That I remember just flipping out when seeing that on the first time. Somebody's ahead.
Robert Parker, yes. I will bring up who played Celeborn.
And okay, I believe it was Jonathan Peck who requested this. All right, fine.
No.
Show Lodge. Why don't you quit acting like a bunch of fools, you tooks, and get back to watching the movie?
No. Fake out.
About ready to have the
Mithril.
boot go again. Mithril.
Mithril. Master Baggins.
To the bridge of
The
Casa.
Bridge of Khazad-dûm.
Follow me.
I love this.
Oh,
Oh, and the staircase scene coming
Can
up.
I just
Oh my god.
the story here? Do you know what's in the script in this moment?
What is?
Fellowship
They
run.
run.
They run.
They
Yeah.
run. That's it. This entire bit was just
They
purely made from they run.
Yep.
But look how it's shot.
all you need.
It's nuts.
Oh
It's
yeah.
You don't
so
need
good.
much else.
No, I know, but it's just that they were able to come up with, like they decided, okay, this is how we'll do it.
I think Fran and Philip have said that like they don't have to write out the action in a script because the Weta guys just, oh my god, this is ridiculous.
But
By
that
Robert
makes sense
Parker.
later on. But how do you get like a script by a studio executive with something they run? This is going to be an action scene. We don't know what it's going to be, and the executive still signed off on it. Like,
Well, I love the story. Like when they're trying to get the movie made, and they go to New Line, and they're like they structured everything for 2 movies, and they're like, why is this 2 movies? Like this is 3 films. And
Isn't there? He said that, the studio head said, "Isn't there 3 books? It should be 3 movies." And it was like,
it's like every director's dream comment.
I don't think they saw a script. I think they actually saw just artwork by Alan Lee and what's the other
I
guy?
think they had like a
there was a presentation.
outline. Yeah.
This, as a
Concept
book
art.
reader, was like one of the best moments because, like, you know what's coming, and then the fact that they got it so right was just, and the look on Ian McKellen's face.
Yeah, and then Legolas when he realized what it is
Yes.
too.
The Balrog of Morgoth.
Yeah, when he says what it is, Orlando Bloom, like that terror in their eye.
This foe is beyond any of you.
Run! Run!
Careful. Whoops. I'm almost perfectly synced up with whomever I can hear.
Same.
I don't hear
think it's
anyone.
I don't know who it is, but like I'm like,
All right, we're
oh,
about to hit the 2 hour and 23 mark.
"Oh, I got 2 hours and 2 hours."
I'll say the DVD
37
one. Yeah.
In
12 seconds.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 hours, 23 minutes if you're watching digital.
What did you say, Chris? Yours was at?
I'm at 37 minutes, 28, 29, 30.
31. Okay. 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So at 38 minutes in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Woo, lordy.
Now this scene would be cool
10,
in 3D
9,
I agree.
8, 7, 6,
because they didn't shoot it. in
Oh,
3D.
that
It's
shot is
just-
so good.
I love that. Yeah.
1. Bop.
That's
Let's DVD.
Legolas is just a badass.
Yeah. And again, Boromir, just it's a little thing, but it's those 2 hobbits that he grabs and helps over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's just
Yeah,
picking
Sean
them
Connery
off
is a
from
good
range.
guy.
Not the beast.
That's just a dwarf.
Don't say it.
Dwarf.
Not the beard.
Not the beard.
Oh, that'd be so painful.
Oh, God.
Joe Reeves Davis is so good.
You need that comic relief.
Yeah.
And it fits. It's not like
It does.
forced.
It's not overdone. It's placed in just the right places.
Yeah,
Doesn't take you out of it. It's hard to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Was Gimli like that in the book?
To an extent, but like it's more the delivery, John Rhys Davies, like the lines and the antagonism with Legolas is there, but there's just like a tongue-in-cheek quality John Rhys Davies always brings to the role.
It's just
Yeah,
natural.
I'd agree with that.
Certainty of death. Small chance of success. coming up here. My favorite scene of this movie and
Lucky
second
break
favorite
if I
of the
ever saw
trilogy.
Yeah.
There should be a ride at Universal or something.
Warner
Jonathan
Brothers
Peck,
wouldn't
I
get me
think a lot of girls had crushes on Orlando Bloom when these movies were coming out. I'm just saying.
Yes, they did.
He
Believe
was
me
the
on
pretty
that
boy
one.
of the bunch.
I always went for Vigo, but that's just me.
I
Oh.
also always went for Vigo. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, really quick side tangent. My high school band plays that theme that just played. Da, 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 da.
Man,
The
that's
good
all
thing?
design.
Most badass visual effect.
They had to
Yeah.
invent the effects for
Oh
this.
my
Like
God,
they did
it's
not
so
The
good.
fire
exist before
effect,
they
yeah.
made this.
Oh,
Digital Fire was in its infancy back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah,
But
they invented a bunch of stuff for this.
But it's just about perfected here, though.
Yeah.
And what they couldn't do, the idea to use the smoke to sort of mask it is just perfect.
Yes.
Also, crossing that bridge would be flipping scary.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Don't look down. Don't look down.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you're running.
Well, and
Yeah.
I love the way like that's obviously CGI. Not that you can tell because it's well done, but they did such a good job matching like the actual strides of the characters.
Oh my gosh.
Unreal.
Little
Come
things
to-
like that are what makes this movie so good.
Yep.
Here comes one of the best moments of this whole freaking.
Oh,
Every teacher in America.
So good.
oh, that's so cool.
Back to the shadow.
Oh my
All
god.
together
This
now.
is
Yeah.
so
Oh, I
good.
nearly missed it. I nearly missed it. Oh, thank God I didn't miss that.
And the use of that in the trailer was so great.
I know, because it's the last
The-
shot and it just
yeah.
gives you chills.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is like the moment where you think, oh, he did it. And
And
No.
oh, no.
JK.
Oh, no, he didn't.
No,
goodbye,
JK
Glenn.
indeed. He just got whiplash. Damn.
Wow, Clark.
You see what I did there?
Wow.
Why? You fools.
I believe the correct response is sigh.
Okay, thank you.
Why are we laughing at the most emotional?
I know, and I was just going to say,
moment?
the part that like kills me every time is Elijah Wood's
Yes.
reaction and them all coming out. Oh God.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
The music.
Yeah, if I'm in the right like mindset when I'm watching this, like I'll
I
still
get- I
get
tear
tear
up.
up.
Oh,
during
I-
when-
Oh,
when
every
they're on the
time.
hillside in the
Yeah.
and
Oh.
Sam and Mary and Pippin are just all of them are just
Falling,
in
it's
shock.
oof.
Yeah, there are
Yeah, if I'm really like zoned in, I'll get misty eyed.
there are a handful of scenes that every time I watch them, I start crying. So I'll try to keep it on so I can watch along.
And I know and the movie sort of takes it back because he comes back and everything. And like a lot of the criticism for the series is that there really isn't a lot of cost. Like only Boromir dies from the Fellowship once the whole thing is said and done. Although you could make a serious argument about what happens with Frodo.
Yep.
But if you don't know what's coming next, like this movie really does make you think that this is really serious, dire circumstances where people die, to achieve this quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love in that moment of Legolas, you almost see his whole like look on life because he's immortal and he just
Yeah.
saw someone die.
Who was also
So-
immortal.
right,
Mhm.
and
The
just in
Maya.
that moment, it's just that realization of he's gone.
And it's so hard for them because the veterans in this group are like, we have to keep going.
Mhm.
And for the hobbits just want to mourn, but they can't because come nightfall, the orcs are going to come pouring out of that doorway.
But that's another great moment of Boromir is
Yes.
he's the one saying, guys, just give him a moment. Like, yeah. Oh,
Oh, the look on his
Oh.
face.
Tears of a Hobbit.
Oh,
Jeez, I'm trying really hard. Jeez.
hey, we watched Shawshank Redemption and I openly wept on the internet. How do you think that looked?
I'm trying so hard.
Shawshank messed me up.
Yeah, no. If we watch Toy Story 3, I can guarantee you I will cry.
Oh, that move.
Oof.
Inside Out.
Oh God!
Oh.
No.
On the topics of movies that will make you weep, Wind River, see it as soon as possible. I cried 4 times
Yes.
in the theater.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it comes here. It
It's-
comes out here in 2 weeks. I hate
Yeah,
that that's
check
release
that out.
schedule.
It's really good.
It's the best movie.
It was
of the year.
here. It was here for 1 week, and that was when I was busy as all hell. And now it's gone, and I don't get to see it anymore until it comes out on
Such-
GB.
I love
on-
the lighting they use in Lothlorien.
Yes.
Mm.
It's
And it-
different enough from Rivendell, but it's still clearly
Yeah,
Elvish.
yeah, and
Well,
it they start it early, like you can see it kind of now, and it just sneaks up on you that they're using it. But like the background, you can kind of see some of the lighting, and it's just so cool.
Another great Gimli moment coming up.
Yeah.
Yep. Eyes of a hawk and the ears of a fox.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah.
Good wolf breathes so loud. Whoops, I'll do in the dark.
Introduce Craig Parker.
Craig Parker.
Hello, Haldir.
Another new scene.
The makeup on Gimli is really weird in this added scene too. You'll notice it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's because he doesn't have. It's just
the hell
him
with
with the beard.
It's something else though. I think you'll see him. He looks very orange. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little.
Oh, by the way, this is an extended scene, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that they
That's
use
left up to
Dwarvish.
our imagination.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what's
Like,
he
I want to know what he said.
Yeah.
There's a translation out there, I'm
I-
sure.
yeah.
Because Tolkien made his own language, so
He made
Yeah, it's
several.
all in the appendices, so you can learn it if you really want to.
Yeah, I don't think.
God. Yes, Jonathan Peck. Back to our other conversation. The first 5 minutes of Up, as well.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the
Those
movie's just-
kill you.
Pixar knows how to get you.
Yeah.
and when Littlefoot's mother dies.
Oh God. Oh.
It's
So
not
if we
your
want to go
fault.
real far back, how about Bambi traumatizing my
Oh my
childhood?
gosh.
Jeez.
That's
Or
terrible.
Cripes in Secret of NIMH when the
Oh.
house is sinking into the mud and Mrs. Brisby is trying to save her kids and it's just like, oh, oh God.
Or the moment that Dumbo finds his mother being trapped in a cage in a
Oh
circus.
no, that
Yeah,
does make
yeah.
me cry.
Baby mine. Ouch.
I'll get.
I
I
Okay,
watched
so
American
here,
Girl the other day, and that
so-
one looks like.
Oh yeah. So the one that gets me the most, and all these assholes that doesn't get any of them, is E.T. The ending of E.T. gets me every time.
Why wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I don't understand people who say that doesn't.
Exactly.
Thanks,
And the,
Jacob.
and the
Ah,
That would be
Oh my
me. And
that'd be
Chris.
me.
Yes, I'm not the only.
I-
I'm not the only one who has controversial thoughts.
The
Well, have you
the
met
way
me,
that
Jacob?
they created this, like the
Yes.
stairs that come around the
Yeah.
trees,
Look,
and like
so good.
it's so good.
So that's what James Cameron stole from, obviously, in Avatar.
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Heavily
Pocahontas.
influenced.
Yeah, no, and this is the kind
Oh,
of
it's so good.
architecture that you
Beautiful.
can. This is the only kind of architecture you can really imagine in fantasy, but it
Mhm.
always when you pull it off and you pull it off correctly, it always just looks
Still works.
amazing.
because it's a structure, but it's like blended into the environment, and it's just like so perfect.
Oh, Kristen, who is this again?
Martin
Martin Kasakis.
Sokas,
There you
you're welcome, but Robert Parker's not here.
go.
Wanted to make
Yep.
sure you all
Yeah.
knew who it was,
Yes.
And that's Kate Blanchett.
and that is Kate Blanchett.
Oh, okay, yeah. Arturo, you got me. Mufasa and the Lion King.
Yep.
Oh. I would say more so the scene right after than as opposed to his
Yeah,
actual
right.
death.
Yeah, after when Simba come. Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
Ugh.
All right.
There's some
We've
good
gone
added
through
stuff
this now. We have
in
gone through this.
Mandalorian.
Let's get back to Lord of the Rings.
I love the detail of the light in her eyes
Mhm.
is not just one pinpoint of light, it's like a starry pinpoints of light. And they use like Christmas twinkle lights on like a rack behind the camera. And that's how they got that effect in her eye. And it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It looks
Nice.
great.
Just that attention to detail.
Tell me, where is Gandalf? From much
Pretty much
desire
desire to
to
speak with him.
Tell me where
It's like
Gandalf-
he gets about 2 lines, 3 lines total. And I don't think they ever name him in the movie.
I don't believe so.
I just know who he is. So and
Yep.
Yeah.
Who, Celeborn?
yeah.
They
Celeborn.
did say his name.
When?
When
that
Haldir
young.
introduces them, he said Lord Celeborn and Galadriel.
I thought he just said the Lord and Lady of Light. I didn't think they said
I
the names.
think he says Lord. I thought he said Lord Celeborn and Lady and Galadriel, the Lady of Light.
This is your favorite movie, and you're not sure.
Hey, you know what?
Okay.
I think he
Settle
only
down,
just says.
Kees.
I
Just
think he
kidding.
only just says Lord and Lady of Light.
I'm
She
tempted
sees
to
I
into
love
rewind
their
that.
and put on
souls.
subtitles to make sure.
I just love like the looks she gives and like the reactions. It's just so good.
It just captures the idea that she can see into their souls in
Yeah.
a way that's like it works visually.
And like you don't have to explain what she's doing.
Exactly.
It's great visual storytelling.
Oh, by the way, that was a quote asked in a trivia match.
It was.
The
Galadriel,
quest stands in the brink.
the quest stands upon the edge of a knife.
Stray but the little, and it will fade.
Did you just quote Meatloaf?
No.
No, Clark.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
Yeah. With you, everything is Meatloaf.
One who has seen die.
That effect. is cool.
It's awesome.
Again, those close-ups that, while again effective, they just don't rub me the right way.
He looks like a cutscene from Legend of Zelda.
I'm sorry for you, Chris, that you don't love this movie as much as others.
Yep, no, because apparently just little nitpicks, that means I don't freaking love this amazing piece of art.
Yeah.
It's not just a film; it is a work of art.
Yes.
It is, yeah. Oh, and this is also added.
Yep. This is also extended.
Sam tries poetry.
He's not terrible at it.
No, I know. Eric was like, "What the hell's going on?"
Whatever.
Yeah, as I say, I'm sure Aaron was like, you know what that scene could have used? It could have used, an Oliver Platt lesson a Charlie Sheen lesson in poetry from Three Musketeers.
This is a good added scene, though.
Oh, it's
And
huge
and
for Boromir.
And it sucks that it's cut from the movie.
Yeah.
From the
Absolutely.
theatrical
This gives
version.
so much.
What?
more.
No. This scene is.
This is in?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is in.
It's just
There's one
an
later when they're on
extended-
the river.
It's trimmed, but
it's trimmed. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there is one with them later off on the river, or when they take a break between the two of them.
It's just a good establishment of how much his home means to him and how he's been on the front line of this war for his whole life, whereas these people up north didn't necessarily know what that's like.
Why does everybody Sean Bean plays die?
Well, not every single.
Not every-
Not everyone. Watch
You-
The
Every
Martian.
Every single movie.
Watch National Treasure. He just gets arrested, which is, the
That's true.
kid-friendly version of dying.
I just like it when he plays good guys because he does play a really good guy.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
There were tons of movies where he died right at the beginning.
Actually, and funnily enough, James Bond decided to just kill him twice. Because technically he dies at the beginning and then he dies again at the end in GoldenEye.
Technically, yes.
Sure.
Every movie that he dies in is a good movie. If he doesn't die in a movie, it's not a good movie.
So you're saying you don't like National Treasure? Okay.
I think National Treasure is actually really
wait,
good.
Harvey, what did you think of The Martian?
Oh Christ, he's in The Martian. Yeah,
Thank you.
I love it. I mean, he
A
makes
nice
all of the rings
Council
reference in
of
The Martian,
Elrond
doesn't he?
joke.
Yes, he does.
He actually talks about the Council of Elrond.
Yeah. Well,
and
isn't
it's
it?
just great.
Someone else makes the line, and he has to explain it. I think.
It's Donald Glover's character.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. I blanked on his name.
They make an Iron Man joke in front of Sebastian Stan, which is quite funny as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Scouring of the Shire tribute coming up.
Yeah.
Ah,
Did
I
I do
missed that
mute?
line. I can quote that line, and now I missed it. Whatever.
It happens.
The danger of looking into the future.
So I'm glad they fit this in. At least it's a nice little tribute.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's great foreshadowing.
It kind of in the book this happened. It's called the Scouring of the Shire. Oh wait, no, never mind. He's gonna see it in a second.
I was going to say now, if you want to be dead instantly, take a shot every time Clark says "Scouring of the Shire."
Oh. Yep.
Oh, that still creeps me out.
Mm-hmm.
Not as much as what's about to happen, though.
My speaker. Someone is ahead.
I might have memorized this little bit.
Yep. It's like Rachel's.
Oh, then you're ahead. Terrible as the dawn, treacherous as the sea, stronger than the foundation.
Foundation.
Shall love me and despair.
Now, I will admit, seeing this version, seeing the animated version of the film by Ralph Bakshi, the way they did the scene, I like it actually a little bit better because obviously it's much more subdued, much more subtle. It's all in the voice of how Galadriel is just like, then, she said a line, but again, it's very soft, but the tone, it sounds very intimidating.
The biggest Lord of the Rings fan in my family is my mom. We all get it from her. And she actually really dislikes that transformation with Galadriel for that reason. She thinks it's too over the top and she kind of calls it a little silly. Whereas, it's meant to come across in her voice and in her her eyes, but not in that's Jackson kind of showing off a little bit in the visual sense. Worked out good for me in terms of Schmodown entrances, but I can understand the argument.
Yeah, no, I mean, and like I said, it's not that she doesn't do it. It's not that she doesn't do it terribly. She does it great. It's just I am actually a little bit on your mom's side then, in the fact that I just think it's a tad bit too much.
Yeah. And then they really went for it in The Hobbit, even more so.
Oh, good Lord, yes.
So just want to give a shout out to Scotty for his $25 donation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scotty.
Yes.
Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. But don't tell Scotty.
Just a quick time update for DVD. I'm at 1 hour and 54 seconds.
Just a time update for digital. I am at 2 hours and 46 minutes, and so we'll be at 2 hours and 47 minutes in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 hours and 47 minutes.
Taste the flesh.
Chris, what time are you at? Just so we are on sync.
I'm at 1 hour, 1 minute, and 41, 42,
43, 44.
Yep.
45. Okay, I'll go to the 10-second mark. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. DVD. There we go.
This is extended.
Yep.
They didn't do the gift giving in the original, with the exception of the Frodo one.
Yep.
And I actually like it that they included all of these.
Hey,
gifts.
Celeborn gets another line.
Oh, and the Landas bread. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many have you had?
Oh, really? Your reaction. 4.
That's just a great moment.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how badly you can really feel for his digestive system, though.
God.
Just expand. Oh, Celeborn gets more lines.
Another line.
You're being hunted.
Was this in the theatrical? I can't remember.
No, it wasn't.
No.
Because that knife kind of comes out of nowhere in the theatrical.
That's right. I didn't think it was. Because, it's just she hands Frodo
this is the first
the
shot.
vial, and then
And
they're
they
on the
just
boat.
go
And
with
that's
that.
it.
Right. Yep. Exactly. They start here, and then they flash back to the gift for Frodo, and Gimli too. Right. The hair.
The 3 hairs.
The golden hairs.
No.
Is that not in the theatrical?
Not theatrical.
No, the only gift, is
Frodo.
Frodo's.
Which is
Yeah, the
weird.
big bow.
It's really weird.
Because they don't. I mean, they never get to use their daggers, and the rope is used in the extended of the Two Towers, but it
Right.
It is.
well, I guess they use it for Gollum, but they don't talk about it being a gift. They just
No.
the only time they mention it being a gift is when they're climbing down the rocks.
Oh, and the little bit of earth. Oh, so give him earth in the book.
Oh, that's right.
Hmm.
Oh, what a little charmer.
It's
Like he's so like embarrassed.
Yep. Starts to feel a little bit differently about elves at this point.
So none of this is in the theatrical. Okay, that's
No.
None of it.
Oh. They have a funny story where he actually caused their boat to capsize.
They would like get each other turned around and like hit each other with the paddles and stuff, and, like push them in the wrong direction. I think they were picking on Sean Bean some, I think was the story.
That must have been chaos to shoot.
Some interesting backstory with Galadriel is that she is Arwen's grandmother. They never say in the movies that Elrond's wife was Galadriel's daughter, but she's passed to the other side already.
Yeah, there ain't a whole lot left in that line.
He's it.
pretty much.
It's kind of funny. For as badly as I really want to learn Klingon, I want to learn Elvish even more.
Yeah.
Elvish is much more fun because all the words kind of like roll together.
And this is in the theatrical version.
This is in the theatrical cut.
There's actually 2 different Elvish languages too. He created 2.
Sindarin or Quenya?
And yeah.
Sindarin's like the more common version, and then Quenya's the like
High Elven.
more noble.
Wow. As long as that light can keep some spiders away. Oh wait, no, it really can't.
It does for a couple minutes.
He's so smitten.
He's so
Aw, so cute.
Another thing that makes it tough running Schmodown questions for these movies is remembering what's in the extended and not in the theatrical.
Yeah.
So it's like, which version did it happen in?
This was in the theatrical.
You could argue that you could put in the extended editions because they have been in theaters.
Yeah,
Technically,
Just saying. You
Yeah.
could put it in there.
I'm sure there would be a challenge and someone would,
Pass it.
But-
It would, yeah.
like that.
It would depend on who's judging.
Galaxy
I
question
wouldn't.
challenge. I'm not going to say any more about that, but
My only
Brandon?
my only big issue with the Guardians of the Galaxy question was that it was a plot-based question for a movie that wasn't on Blu-ray yet. That was my only issue with that question. Other than that,
fair enough.
yeah.
Because I actually rewatched that movie the other day and I was dead on, but that's another time.
I stuck up for you that whole time, Chris. Just saying.
I appreciate it.
Although it just proves how good Dagino is as good as what Dagino does, and that's the
And it
scary
also
part.
shows
He's good at
how
what he does.
he's not good at trivia too. So
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, anybody could have told you that. Come on.
Well, like we always say, Chris, admins together strong.
yes.
Wait, is this extended?
This is the
This is
new. This is the
extended.
senior
Oh,
role, I
correct.
think. Yeah.
Again, just more Boromir development that was needed.
Some good, just to show that Gollum is still following them. And
Right.
It also plants that kind of hesitation in Frodo's mind because he overhears them talking.
mm-hmm. And then Sam being the mom.
Yeah. I guess that was earlier when he heard them talking.
If Sam wasn't as coddling, they would have lost.
Yeah, Sam is and the end of this, Sam is the hero of the movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sam is the relatable character.
Yeah.
It's where you feel for Boromir, but you also understand from Aragorn's point too.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
my god, guys. Holy crap, we've hit 20 live likes. Thank you guys so
Yeah.
much.
Hey, sweet.
That's awesome. Thanks, guys.
Spirit fingers.
Yeah, we still, the peak for this one was at 27, which that's pretty good.
I wouldn't either Aragorn because not that Boromir's a bad dude, but Denethor is kind of an
Denethor is, yeah.
asshole.
That was my introduction to John Noble. I'm probably a lot of people too, but
You gotta go now.
Oh yeah.
reminds me I need to rewatch Fringe sometime.
This was also a trivia question.
That was.
And even the detail in this scene, like if you see like on the left, you can see like how the stones are cut. They designed it that way to make it like that they mined the rock from that area and built the Aganath, like how it's like layered on the side there. It's just the detail they went into.
They didn't even have to do that. They
No,
honestly
it could have just
didn't
been
have to do
it
that.
could have been like just a regular rock face, but it's like no, that's how they did it. I love how like the nests and the eyes look like irises, like looking.
Mm. Yeah.
I always thought that they always kind of look like they're looking on.
And this is where we gotta pull over, kids. Sorry.
It's like, why did he? Well, nope, someone's a little ahead.
Yeah. Wow. Quite a bit ahead of me, I think.
Yeah, I'm at 1 minute 12 or 1 minute.
Yeah,
1 hour,
so
12
is
minutes, 45 seconds.
Doesn't make it sound very
Pippin's
pleasant,
like,
does
"Oh,
he?
what the-"
Yeah, but if you gotta take it, you gotta take it, man. Maybe he should have
Recover my-
recovered.
Recover my bro.
All right. All right. We'll just do a quick timestamp on
3 hour
everyone
mark.
in a minute. We're at 3 hours right now.
No, in 50 seconds.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
So we'll be
Just about 50.
yeah
If you're on the
on
two disc, I don't. Chris Clark
So
has that.
I'll
Chris
do
Clark.
that. I'll see what Skaliski's at first, and then I'll do
I'm
it.
at 1 hour, 13 minutes, 46, 47, 48. They just looked at the saw shield of Boromir sitting there.
Yeah, and now
Okay,
we
cool.
see Frodo.
Climbing
Nine.
them steps.
1, 52, 53, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. DVD.
I think you're a little behind.
Everyone, welcome to Sesame
So-
Street with Chris Clark.
We have 3 hours and 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3 hours.
And Case makes an appearance as well.
Hey, I've been here all this time.
And we're meeting in Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oof.
Oh, you mean like what you're about to do there, buddy?
Yeah. At this point, yeah, the extended edition is makes him a lot better than the theatrical. A lot better.
Right, because you understand that he's frustrated for his city and for his people, and that he's a good, heroic person, and the ring is preying on that side of him, and, you know, bringing out that, like, he feels like everything is so futile, and that the ring could actually help them.
And
And he just sells it.
And you add to that
In the
what his
theatrical
father
version, he
is
just seems like a
wanting
dick.
him to do.
Yeah. The weight of the survival of his people, he feels it on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And especially his father.
Yes. He's put.
And then yes, the realization.
This is some good acting.
Mm-hmm.
He just slips.
I wonder if that was like intentional or if they actually.
Might have been improvised.
You'll never know.
I'm sure it's a trivia somewhere on some Blu-ray somewhere, but I'd never seen it. So
You know,
like the,
I've seen a lot of special features.
Like when in Two Towers when Vigo kicks the helmet and breaks,
Oh, yeah.
Breaks his
foot.
toe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now,
That's a
I
great
have a very legit question here. And would Frodo have forgiven him if Boromir genuinely got the chance to apologize to him?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think so.
That's his character.
Maybe.
Because well, I mean, especially after he.
It'd be
feels
very
what the ring
hypocritical
does
of
to
him if he
Like,
didn't.
yeah. How the ring's affecting him, he would.
It would be hypocritical of him, but I could almost understand if he didn't. Almost.
He slipped and fell.
Almost.
Ouch.
At least in the movie, he forgives Faramir for doing practically the same thing.
Yeah. he
In the
does.
book, that never happens. So
I was just going to say Faramir doesn't do it in the books.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just like, oh,
There's
Yeah,
not
and-
much to forgive there.
we'll get there when we get there, but that's one of my only complaints about the movies.
For me, it's a complaint just because I love that he's a more stand-up character in the
Yeah.
books, but I understand there needs to be an arc in the movie. Like, I get the
Yeah.
decision, but yeah, I agree. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, because in the books, he is one of my favorite characters.
Mhm.
Of the
Faramir?
entire Faramir in the
great.
books, because
yeah.
he is not even close to being tempted by the ring, and he just like has like this great character arc in the books,
So-
and then in the movies he falls off, even though David Wenham does a fantastic job with him.
I mean, the argument they make for doing that is if the ring is supposed to be this all-powerful thing that's corrupting everyone, all of a sudden there's just someone who's just like, nope, you know.
Well,
I get it.
He has
Especially
the
because
chance
in-
to be corrupted, and he just says no.
Right. But like Chris is saying, like, in this moment that we're watching right now, like, Aragorn resists.
Mhm.
And if they also had Faramir resist, then it takes resisting and makes it more of an easy thing to do. Where
Yeah, and I
established
get
it's
it.
harder.
It was probably the better choice for the movies, but it made a character who was
Run, Frodo.
like
run.
top 3
I agree.
characters in the series and
Yeah.
moved him down, and he's
Yep.
no longer anywhere close to being
I love
there.
this moment. He's pushed his sword up and just.
And this is why Aragorn is a badass.
Yep.
I love this whole fight sequence, everything.
This is good. The
everything is
tracking
so-
shot that's about to
yes,
come up. Oh
so
my
good.
god.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Again, nothing wrong with this scene.
Nope.
This whole entire
And
battle
the score as well.
Yes.
is beautiful.
Find
The-
flame.
When they were filming this, and like some of the other battle sequences, the stuntmen, there's some reactions where they kind of like, jump back from him and are scared, and it's like a real reaction because Vigo would like go at them.
Right.
I love when Gimli and Legolas come in, and just
Yep.
boom.
Yep,
Oh, that's awesome.
that's
Legolas
Yep.
has got some great moments. They
I
all
love
do.
the inventiveness of having, because a bow and arrow in close combat doesn't
Yeah.
make a whole lot of sense, but like
They
he
just stab
finds
them.
ways to do
Yep.
it. Yep.
And that's just clever.
And here in a little bit, they add him like firing off like 6 more shots than he did in the theatrical in a row here when they
Yep.
get.
Yeah, we're about to get there. This realization also is great.
Yes. It just shows how much that they, even though they're scared and everything, they understand
And it's like
what
for
he
Mary,
has to do.
Mary too, because I mean he's the one who kind of gets it first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Pippin is
Yep.
like,
And
no.
Pippin's still trying to figure
Yeah.
things out, but
He's still the
do,
baby.
They
of the
do
group.
get it. He gets it.
Exactly. Yeah.
He doesn't grow up until the next movie,
True.
and then even then he doesn't.
And
Yeah. I was gonna
And
say,
even
he
then,
does
they don't
all-
fully
yeah,
grow
I'm
up.
gonna say
Yeah.
it pushes even into the third too.
It's working. I know it's working.
Now run.
Run!
There it is.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
What a great
He
song.
probably hate him that hard too. Like the stunt guy's probably like, oh god.
Yeah, these stunt guys
Mm.
committed.
John Rhys Davies was into
Oh,
that.
this moment with coming
Oh my
up
God,
is
and
so
this moment
freaking
right
good.
here.
And
Oh.
Boromir.
Yes.
Here he comes.
Well, and this-
Redemption.
Love it.
This orc who tries to kill them, like, would have been fired from
Oh,
his
that's so
job
good.
because
Yeah.
they're not supposed to kill them, so they're supposed to take them alive.
This shot is great.
Yeah.
Oh, this like
I don't care how much,
Yeah.
how much you
Yeah.
hate Legolas. That's just awesome.
So good.
getting chills right now.
The Horn of Gondor.
Yeah, me too.
The horn. Oh, I love that horn. It's such a cool.
And then this
thing.
shot. Oh my god.
Yeah, this tracking shot. Yeah.
It's so good.
So perfect.
I mean, that's like choppy, uneven ground, and like to be on the ground and now to be up like it is
It's
now.
all
It's just
On
unreal.
location.
Yep.
Set. There's no.
All the stunt guys.
There's no nothing. It's all actual.
I'll admit, Boromir, you probably shouldn't have been blowing the horn that much.
Yeah.
You get the hobbits,
I,
getting in on it.
Oh, but they just keep coming.
They just pick up rocks and start.
Right.
I mean, they got
Whatever
some
you
good
can do.
arms, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like they're just dropping Urka
Oh,
high.
shit.
Alerts.
Oh, and then just the the way the music drops.
Ugh. Ah,
I can't
Oh,
watch.
man.
Oh man.
oh man.
And their reaction too is just,
Yeah.
The thing is, at this point, he still could have survived.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'd be tough.
It's in the
but he's still-
shoulder.
I
Yeah.
love that he just keeps fighting. Like he's not gonna.
That's what he would do.
You know, now he's got the.
That's in the stomach.
Ugh.
He could
That's-
still. Okay, today he could survive that. You know, it's,
If there was a
today,
hospital
with modern-
nearby.
yeah, with modern medicine, possibly he could survive that.
Elvish medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do
Yeah,
have
he
healing.
he looks up at them and they look back like just.
He's like, I can't let them die here.
Yeah.
You know, It's what I call a blood wrath moment, where so wounded, but he's just so full of, still got so much fight.
And that one's
now he's down.
yeah. There we go.
that sound of
You ain't coming
no
back.
one hitting
And
him.
we don't even see it at first, and then you see that the horn's been
Yeah.
cloven in two, and it's like, oh.
Ugh. Terrible.
Man, I'm getting chills right now. Jeez.
Yeah, every time.
Every time.
I remember the first time I saw this, I was so worried. I knew he was gonna die, but I was so worried that Lurtz was they were gonna have him put another arrow in him,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just like for the brutality of them. I'm glad that it didn't, but I was so worried that was gonna happen. And the added fight, which wasn't in the book, but it's so good.
Aragorn.
And perfect climax.
Yes.
And that's why he's the best character.
Gosh.
Just like,
Jeez.
Jesus.
I love how like brutal the fight is, where it's like punching and
Yeah.
like the physicality of it is not just like clinking swords.
Yeah.
By the way, this was an onset accident that totally happened.
I love when he licks the knife and just
Oh, it's gross.
him hitting the knife out of the air is so awesome.
That's so cool. Yes.
Boom.
And
Arm
this,
gone.
where he
And-
pulls it in.
he pulls it
Yeah.
in. Ah.
Oh.
Like, I dare you.
It's so good.
And
Oh, it doesn't get much better than that.
nope.
Watch the dead orcs on the ground moving. You see one looks up.
No, it does.
It could be like a muscle memory.
Yeah. Like, don't. Such a good death scene.
By the way, this is the reason why I cast Sean Bean in this role, because he can play a good dead guy. Or dying guy.
He does convincing dead guy work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he always dies. And it sucks in this movie.
I love that Aragorn gives him hope, though. And
Yeah.
peace of mind that he won't let
That he'll step into the role.
What was this movie shot in? Because it's extremely wide.
Oh, would have just been full. Oh, it's. You mean aspect ratio?
Yeah.
I think it's the standard one for.
Sure?
Yeah, sorry, 235 to 1.
Okay.
So that's standard aspect ratio.
I don't know. It just looks really wide.
It's because it's film. It's
Yeah.
it's shot on film. Modern day movies don't look like this.
The frame when they were shooting, you have to realize this is the early 2000s, so they're also framing for full screen. That's probably why else. Because nowadays you don't frame for full screen anymore because there aren't really any places that shoot or show full screen anyway. So that's probably one, because this had VHS tapes. It's a standard definition VHS tapes, so you have to plan for that and frame for that.
First copy of this on extended edition I ever owned was on VHS.
Agreed.
Was that in standard def?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
No. Well, actually, I think they had two versions. I think they had wide and. I think the version I had was widescreen. I think they had a widescreen and a full screen.
Yeah, you could buy the DVD either way as well.
Yeah.
There were so many times throughout the movie that they directly referenced Alan Lee and John Howe's artwork in that shot where Aragorn is leaning over Boromir's from one of them. And I love that they made sure that those were moments throughout all the trilogy.
Yeah, there's a great one in Two Towers too with Gollum and Frodo.
Russica being Russica again in the comments says Sean Bean didn't die in Rachel's favorite movie of 2015, Jupiter Ascending.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now he's on my shit list.
You, Roscoe.
but Rachel, here's a better question: is he above Evan on the shit list?
No. No.
Okay.
No.
I'll take it. I'll take it. It's part of the life. I understand.
I couldn't make it through 30 minutes of that movie.
I paid $20 to see that movie.
Oh,
No,
you
40.
poor-
Sorry, I paid 40 because I paid for Lauren as well. So I
you
paid
poor
$40.
bastard. Oh.
Oh, the callback.
Okay, so
No.
in this, oh, wait, okay, I'll wait.
His eyes are just ridiculous.
No kidding.
No one should have eyes that big. It should be illegal. And I know like people think that they're like fake or like enhanced. They're not. They're just really
Okay,
big.
so in this
the
scene, when
music.
Sam runs after him, the first time they shot that, Sam got a big piece of, I believe it was glass, stuck in his foot.
It was
I mean,
metal. It was
the
a
actor-
metal splinter.
Oh, metal. Sean Astin got injured really bad, and
Yeah.
they had to wait for a couple of weeks to reshoot the scene because he was
That's fine.
injured
So,
so
okay.
bad.
Do you see the cut there where it zooms in? That's the cut to cover it, because the shot of him running in, that's the shot they used because it was so perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was so perfect of him running in, and at the very end, he lands on it. That's why there's the awkward insert cut. And it, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 2 inches. It was like a metal.
Oh, it was
Pretty
massive.
intense.
And he wasn't able to run anymore. So they, yeah.
Well, I don't. Never mind.
Okay. Is this
All right,
he
this
can't
is-
swim, or is this he is
Can't
someone
swim.
pulling him down? Okay, cool.
Can't
That's-
swim.
He
Hobbits-
can't swim.
Hobbits generally can't swim.
They really dislike water. It's how Frodo's parents died. They
It's a-
in a
okay.
boating
Yeah.
accident.
And it's a cool shot because he's not actually
Mhm.
underwater. It's a wet
Yeah,
from dry
I think
shot.
it's kind
Yep.
of clear that he's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always a few exceptions to that swimming thing. Like brandy bucks usually are the
They're the ones that
exceptions
don't.
because they run the ferry, and so a lot of them know how to swim.
They live on the Brandywine River.
Yeah.
I mean, people say that they cry for Boromir a few minutes ago.
And then you cry
I mean,
here.
that's a sad scene, but this is so much sadder. This is
Yeah.
Well, this is the crux of it. Frodo can't do this journey alone. He
Indeed.
needs Sam, and they need each other. Like that's the point. It's so beautiful.
Uh-oh. Well, it looks like Roscoe is now on Jacob's shit list. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh my god, and I can't spell. I cannot type. I hear you. Okay.
You have him.
Wait,
Yeah.
How do you hair someone?
Oh,
You
all right.
hear him.
Emotional scene. We're almost finished.
Oh, the whole end of this movie, every single one of these movies
It's so
is like
good.
tearjerker, 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 tearjerker. It's like, yeah, Two Towers, I'll cry like 20 times at the end too.
You know, I was thinking just a minute ago, if they need to be on the other side, why did they go there at the beginning? Like, because that's where you docked the boat.
Now that is a good question.
Had they made the decision yet? Like I know Aragorn had made the decision, but Boromir was trying to convince Frodo to go to Minas Tirith. So I wonder if it was one of those like Frodo's going to make the ultimate decision things moments.
Well, they knew on the other side of the
Oh,
Where
that's
the-
true.
river, Legolas, there was that scene where he looks and he
Yeah.
spots the Uruk-hai. And they were on the other side. There was a force on the other side. So they thought docking on the one side would be more defensible.
Yeah.
And
I love this
they
one.
came around.
Formation of the trio.
Yeah, exactly. It's just these three coming together, knowing that they might not be able to help Frodo, but they can help.
Let's
Pippin
hunt
and
some orc.
Let's hunt some elk.
I remember one of the second time I went to see this.
I love it.
There was this older couple, well, probably in their late 50s, early 60s, sitting next to me and my dad. and this guy just let out this big, great cheer after Gimli said that line, and he was so pumped. It was so cool. He was just so into the movie and just like big old cheer. It was cool moment.
My favorite was the first time I saw this. I saw it with my grandparents, and they did not know that it was a series. And so the movie ended, and they're like, "Wait, that's it?"
Yeah, apparently they get. I was about to say that this bit here, a lot of people were like, "Wait, what?" That's it? I gotta wait a year?
Yeah, me and my mom are just sitting there, and we had already read the books, and we're just like looking at them like, yeah, there's 2 more.
I mean, I had friends who knew it was a trilogy, and they were still like, they thought it was gonna like the ring part was gonna wrap, or they thought it was gonna be a lot further along or something.
This is exactly where the book ends.
Yeah.
It's not until 2 Towers that it starts diverging.
That's because the Shelob didn't want to end on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And they were also cutting back and forth in the second and third movies, whereas in the books you have whole chunks with just one group and then the next.
And that's the movie.
Pain in the ass.
That's the movie.
Oh, and then some just really
Peter
good
Jackson.
end credit music here.
Wait, the end credits are 20. Whoa, that's a lot of end credits.
Well,
A lot of people.
There are the credits, and then it's the extended version. So there's the fan club credits.
Yeah.
No, the one that you're not a part
it's
of.
28 minutes of credits.
Yes,
Okay.
the
See,
fan
what's
club
funny-
credits that I did not make it in.
Okay, can I just say funny? The iTunes version that I have, there is only 7 minutes of credits. So like,
fly through
They
it.
cut out the
yeah, I'm just like done.
they cut out the fan club credits, I guess. Because the fan club credits are long.
Yeah.
Well, that was the Fellowship of the Ring. That was awesome. We have gotten through day 2 of 3. We are now on to tomorrow, where it's just pure Lord of the Rings all day. We don't have any Hobbit. We don't have a terrible movie. We have got 2 incredible movies. I would really like to thank my special guest, but let's just go through, guys. What did you think? Let's start with Kristen. What were your thoughts on Fellowship of the Ring?
I mean, everyone knows my thoughts on these movies. They're my favorite. They're my favorite movies ever made. So just rewatching them is like coming home.
Evan, you were gone for most of it, but what were your thoughts on the things you did see?
Look, I have to watch them. I know, and I'll hear from everybody. You haven't seen Lord of the... Look, I saw it once. I was scared. I don't remember a thing. I see it again, and I understand the cinematic part of it. Like, every single shot that I look at is cinema at its finest. So, when I go to watch it and actually fully understand the story, I will love it. Hopefully.
Chris Clark, what did you think?
That movie didn't feel like 3 hours. It felt like a 90-minute movie. It was great. And I just cannot wait to watch 2 Towers tomorrow. It makes you so pumped, and it was delicious. It was really great.
Case, what did you think?
Can I just watch 2 Towers now? Come on. No, this movie is one of my all-time favorite movies, and I still love it. It's so good. The filmmaking, just everything about this movie. It takes me to Middle Earth, and it just doesn't let go for 12 hours when I watch them all back to back to back. That's why I want to watch 2 Towers now. I'll have to wait until tomorrow. I'll definitely be here tomorrow for 2 Towers and Return of the King, of course. I can't wait. This was great, guys.
And Chris Diamond, what do you think?
This is a nearly perfect opening to what is not only my favorite film trilogy of all time, but I will argue the greatest film trilogy of all time. And it's again, minus a couple nitpicks that sure I just have because I'm stuck up. But the thing is, this movie, I'm so glad that you guys, our fans, decided we'd go with the extended edition, so I could see these for the first time, and it just added more.
Hey, your thoughts on the extended versions?
I love these editions. I seriously do. I freaking love it. So, like, once again, guys, thank you for voting on that, so that way I could, watch these and actually be able to make time for it. Because sadly, I haven't watched this movie in about 5 years. It's 5 years too long.
Jeez.
Chris Skalicky, what did you think?
Oh, I love this movie. This is my favorite movie. Thank you guys so much for having me. I don't get to talk about this movie in this way this very often at all. So to get to share it with all of you and just get me excited. I wish I could be here for the 2 tomorrow. I may have to pop in 2 Towers after we get off here because I'm in the Middle Earth world right now. But it's great to revisit it with fellow fans of the movie.
And Rachel Cushing, what do you think?
I mean, I always love watching this movie, and I really enjoyed watching it with fellow fans. And, you know, the thing for me, ever since the first time I saw it, what is important to me was that Peter Jackson loves the source material as much as I do, and he treated it without any irony. He treated it seriously, and he put his heart and soul into it, and everybody who made it did. And that comes through to me in a way that just, you know, when a film is made with love, as cheesy as that sounds, you can tell. And those are my favorite movies. So for my favorite book to be translated into one of my favorite movies is a huge feat. So it's just, I love it so much.
All right. Well, guys, please remember the reason we are here is to donate towards Make-A-Wish. That's the whole point of doing this, plus also to watch kick-ass movies. But tomorrow we're doing both of them. We're doing the 2 good ones. 2 Towers. Well, not saying Fellowship's not good, but yes, we are doing 2 good movies instead of 1 and 1. 2 Towers and Return of the King. 2 Towers will start at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Return of the King will start at 7:15 Eastern Standard Time. We hope you join us for that. But I do want to thank every single person who joined me today for both films. We Manning Franks, Robert Parker, Rachel Cushing, Chris Skalicky, and all my normal Take 3 crew. Rachel, where can the people find you online?
I'm on Twitter at Rachel J. Cushing. Hit me up.
And Chris Skalicky, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Schlick51. And anybody who ever wants to send in questions for the Schmodown, just email them to movietriviaschmodown.com at gmail.com.
Evan DeGraff, where can they find you online?
You guys can find me tweeting about stuff that no one really cares about at Evan DeGraff 15, either tweeting at Schmodown competitors or tweeting things about people that I
You can find Evan getting on people's shit lists pretty easily, apparently. Chris Clark, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at ChrisClark8788. Those numbers mean nothing. Or on YouTube at No Man's Land Entertainment.
And also crying about Late to the Party versus critically acclaimed. Case Cornelisa, where can they find you online?
You can find me on Evan's shit list probably because he's on mine. No, just kidding. You can find me at Dutch Movie Guy on Twitter and the Dutch Movie Guy on YouTube. You can find me react with Chris Doman here to the Rebel Season 4 trailer. It was awesome, so check out the reaction that we did.
I've seen the first episode.
And tomorrow, watching 2 amazing movies that I absolutely love, and that's going to be amazing.
Kristen Smith, where can they find you online?
Smith_K10, the number, not the word, on Twitter, Instagram, Stardust, obligatory social media outlets.
Obligatory.
And Chris Doman, where can they find you online?
You guys can find me on Twitter at my band Last Shot of Redemption at LSAR Band MN. You guys can follow Take 3 Productions on Twitter at Take 3 Trivia. Sorry, Jacob, to steal your thunder for just 2 seconds. But to Rachel and Skalicky, thank you so much for coming on this. This meant so much to me, you know. But now, Jacob, going back to you. So now everybody knows you are facing Maverick Zach Mitchell. You nervous, bro?
A little bit. Actually, no,
Oh.
It's Zach.
Ooh.
I will win this. It's, oh my God, it's Zach. Like, if it was Jen or Manning, yes. Zach got lucky against Jen, so I was like,
you got lucky against me.
I was sitting there on the edge of my seat going, oh, sweet, thank God I'm safe. Okay, cool. My belt's safe now. So, yeah, I'm fine. I don't feel scared at all. It'll be fun. It'll be a good match.
Every time someone gets cocky on this panel, they end up losing. It always happens. People get cocky, they're like, oh, I'm going to win, and then they end up losing, and then I have to deal with you guys whining about it later. So, Jacob, I hope you win, but don't get cocky.
That being said, I just want to let you guys know my my version just finished. Like the credits are all over and done. So like, it's finished.
We're still going on credits.
left.
We still have like 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're in the bees of the fan club right now.
But yeah. That being said, guys, again, as Chris said, thank you so much, Rachel and Chris, for joining for this. Thank you so much. It has brought so many eyeballs, and just we've been able to get so many more donations just because you guys have joined. So again, thank you so much. But yeah, tomorrow, 2 Towers, 3 o'clock, right here on Take 3. From everyone here at Take 3, I just want to say thank you, and we will see you next time. Take care.